Clobberin time!
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger. Ready to move out.
Poker. You know the game?
Clobberanimo!
Come get some.
It's Clobberin time! Clobberanimo!
Yeah. Yes, indeed-ishness. Greetings, clobberers, clobberanimos, clobberuskis, clobberoids, clobberians, clobologists, whatever, all the other clobs out there. For those who do not clobber yet, the secret is to bang their necks together, guys. Yes, indeed. All right, my friends, good to see you. Welcome to Clobberin Times, number 434 on YouTube, number 1,434 overall over the past almost 15 years. And it is Wild Card Wednesday night. It's also Superman month, so it'll be just a open wild card talk, but I'll concentrate a bit of it on Superman in a little bit once we get started. After I do my show notes and shout outs, I have something to talk about, and then we'll get to some Supermanness, because that's how we roll up in here. And I want to thank you all for being here. I'll get you all shouted out in a moment. First of all, let's knock out that show notes, shall we? First, I want to say thank you to the great Stone Loki for having me over on his comic book roundtable tonight. After that, I was hanging out with our good buddy Dadman, and Dadman's Walking, talking a little Super Bowl stuff on that with him. And now, so this is my I just jumped from those two streams to this one. So I'm extremely streaming tonight. Yeah, but glad to be here with you all as always on the Wednesday night. We're just hanging out. That's all we're doing. Hanging with you all. And I'd rather hang with no one else. So, let's see. Also, tomorrow night, folks, the clubhouse is back in session. Clobby's Clubhouse every Thursday night, as you may or may not know. And of course, Mark will be back. Our chief engineer will be joining number one, Raquel and I, as always, for the Saturdays and then Thursday night Clubhouse. Last week you couldn't make it, so we suspended our reviews. But we'll be back with with our regular reviews, a Blake 7 episode, and a Star Trek comic, and much, much more geekness, of course. And then again, I'm always on Thursday nights. Before that, I'll be on with Tom and the gang on Midnight's Edge After Dark, as I'm often want to do. Appreciate those great friends over there with that gang. And then Friday night, Fearless Fridays on the great buddy J-Man's channel. J-Man and Sean and I will continue our series of review. We review comics on there. It took us about 20 something shows to review all of Jack Kirby's fourth world classic. And then and now we're on just getting started. We're a few weeks into reviewing the great Frank Miller's legendary run on the seminal work Daredevil. His Daredevil work, of course, changed comics. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Friday night with Jay and on J-Man's channel with J-Man and Sean, and it's been a lot of fun, and I can't wait to do more. After that, I jump over to my good friend 32 Flavor of Nick Weiser's channel for the Friday Night Comic Shop Talk. The Friday Night Comic Shop boys and myself, we hang and, well, we talk comics. We review comics, and we just all that other kind of stuff. Then, of course, this Saturday night Star Trek. That's right. With my wonderful First Officer Commander R.M. Briggs. And we review all of real Star Trek. All of non-corporate Trek anyway. 66 through 05, 735 Club, as she calls it. We're beginning this week. We begin Star Trek Voyager season 5, with 4 more scintillating episodes of that stalwart show. And then, of course, he wasn't able to make it last week because he wasn't feeling good. But hopefully, the great chief engineer Mark D with a C will be reconvening the Sunday Night Geekery on his channel, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Maybe the Super Bowl might make that a little late, but I'm sure he's doing it. Probably pretty sure. And you know where there's geekery, sometimes he sneaks into the eatery, but we'll be there. And then there we go. Those are basic show notes. Let's do some shout outs, shall we? First of all, our great wrenchers get shouted out whether they're here or not at the moment. The great Eric K., the Bronze Wrencher. Chris Persia, Vindicated Wrench of the Great White North. D. Bud Martin, the Wrench of Iron. The god of the wrenches himself, the great Lord Thoth. Also, shout out to his better half, Lady Thoth. Avon lives, long live the Legion, my friend. J-Man, the aforementioned J-Man. The Wrench Without Fear, partner in crime on Earth B, fellow Legionnaire reviewer extraordinaire and all-around great feller. Maddie's daddy, Fugitive H. Bjelnia, Thor in Vegas. Super Wrench, Kal-El Buddy. All right. That cantankerous Phantom Outsider, the rascally wrench himself. Hungry Boy Master of the Claboni. Our great music lyricist himself, Maximum Redstone, our music maester. And Triple Bullwinkle, Larry. And let's see who is here with us up and here in the chat. Let me roll the chat back and shout you all out. FKHC 2005. Hey there. By the way, we'll check the morning. Okay, well, when you're hearing this tomorrow morning, hail to you, my friend. Good to see you. By the way, anyone out there lurking, thank you so much. We really appreciate you for lurking. We love our lurkers. And anyone watching on a download or a rewatch, thank you so much. I cannot thank you enough. It's really appreciated. DJ Play Nice, hey there. Wagner, what's up, buddy? 1701 text, the man. What's up, brother? Well, oh, my goodness. Always great to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing great tonight, man. Love you, buddy. Good to see you. Ravenscroft. All right, my friend. Maximum Redstone. All right, I shouted you out, but I'm shouting you out again because you are. But next, I'll mention next Wednesday in a minute. Scribe Light. Hello, Scribe Light. Good to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. K. Roberts, hey there. Daniel Link, hello there. Welcome, Daniel Link. Minimus. There's Minimusness. Hey. Let's see. Gotta scroll down. They have Lou Alice and Steven 5. I'll keep you posted if there are any Lou Alice to report. True. All science fiction should have Lou Alice. Everybody knows that. Yeah. Brogu from my old hometown. What's up, buddy? Good to see you, sir. And that's everyone so far. but you will be shouted out accordingly when you arrive. Anyone who does arrive, that is. Okay, before I get on just with some basic Superman talk, and I mentioned this yesterday, the 6th of remember the 6th of February marked 30 years to the day that I experienced probably one of the saddest days of my life. Not to be a downer on it, but it is geek related. I got a phone call from a friend 30 years ago yesterday, a Sunday afternoon. A friend called me who was in the comic book industry. He was an artist at the time. And I think he still is, but I mean, to inform me of the sad news that comics had lost its king. The great Jack Kirby was taken from us way too soon, if you want my opinion. Jakob Kurtzberg, born August 28th, 1917, passed away February 6th, 1994. Salty Traveling Sea, hello there, good to see you. Thank you. It's good to see you, my friend. I've often referred to him, and I'll back it up against anybody. I've often referred to him as the greatest creative force of the 20th century. I don't think there's anyone who created more. Yes, it was for an art form that was largely not well respected. But that's neither here nor there. It may not have been respected by a lot of people, but he earned that respect from he did earn that respect from so many of us. He earned that respect. Jack did. War hero. I mean, it's just the two greatest geek experiences of my life are the times I got to meet and spend time with Jack Kirby and his wonderful wife, Roz. He made you feel like one of his grandkids, like 5 seconds into meeting him. The lovely Sherry. Hello, beautiful lady. Good to see you, my dear. Jack Kirby. I won't go into it, in how much, it's just too much to go into. Absolutely, Tex. Kirby was, and always will be the greatest Imagineer of all time. That's right. And it's not even close. There are many other great creators of great things. I'm going to use a quote. I told this quote on Loki's show earlier, but I tell it a lot, but I'm going to use it again because I was there when the man said it. In 1990, when I got to see Jack Kirby, we got to meet him and talk to him the second time, I was able to kind of help lead him, his him walking to an award ceremony he was doing at the con. I was able to be an escort there. It was just an impromptu escort to plow through the crowd. Minimus was there. And the MC of the event, of this awards ceremony, was, of course, legendary DC Comics editor Julius Schwartz. And he was also a great guy. And Julius Schwartz introduced Jack Kirby this way. This is how he did it. This is him, not me. This is him. This is Julius Schwartz. He said, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster created Superman. Bill Finger and Bob Kane created Batman. And Jack Kirby did everything else. Jack Kirby did everything else. Now, obviously, Jack had to come out and talk to the crowd and everyone went nuts and all that stuff. And Jack Kirby was a pretty humble guy. He would probably argue that there were a lot of other people that did a lot of other things too, that he didn't create every single thing. And that's true. There are characters he didn't create, but he didn't literally mean every single character ever made, of course. But he did everything else in the sense that he created a gigantic proportion of a lot of the most important characters, and he revolutionized the art form no less than 3 times over his brilliant 40-plus career in the comics industry. He set templates for it and set tones for it. Adrian James, hey there. Good to see you. The only thing Stan Lee ever did I agree with is coin the term King Kirby, naming him the King. Because it's true. He's the king of comics. And if you've ever enjoyed, like I said, if you've never read comics, well, even if you've never read comics, chances are you probably enjoyed some other form of art that was inspired by Jack Kirby, because there have been quite a few people over the years that have come out who never even worked in comics. Matthew Pounder, what's up, buddy? That never worked in comics, but they read comics, so they did something in some other field, music, movies, or novels, prose fiction, what have you. That have talked about the influence of Jack Kirby on their lives and on their art when mentioned. So Jack's influence extended far beyond even comic books, even though obviously these guys, a lot of these people read comics as kids and stuff. But I've seen that countless times. And of course, his influence, undeniable would be a small word for it. It's extraordinary. Stephen, there are a lot of things that were different about Kirby and Lee, and ego's just one of them. Jack Kirby was a war hero, of course. And I recommend, incidentally, if none of you have seen it yet, a great documentary called Kirby at War that talks about Jack Kirby's war experiences and then how that affected or influenced his art later. It's an amazing documentary. You got to see it. Came out a few years ago. I think it was on Amazon. Might still be on there. But Jack Kirby, when you think of Jack Kirby, if you just think of his art for a second, you think power and dynamism, and you just think, movement and action, and just it doesn't sit still on a page. It explodes. It's like a constant big bang of images. Jack Kirby's art. Tubi has it, Larry. Okay, that's cool. But you also think of words like ideas and concepts, stories, of course. There you go. Is that the link to it there, Tex? Cool. Hey, look who's here.
Hello.
Hey, dude.
Not much.
Talk a little bit about Jack. Hey, Penny, good to see you, my dear Penny. It's good to see you.
Help everyone in the chat.
The great chief engineer's here, Mark. Deal with the Steve. What's up, dude?
Oh, not much. Just trying to recover from. I don't know. Was it after I watched the Naked Time? I picked up a bug, I guess. So maybe.
I thought you went to Psi 2000.
I shouldn't have gone there. Yeah, that's not a good place for
Well.
tourists. And I
Did you
should have gotten
sing?
worn a much more secure shower curtain.
Well, did you sing? I'll take you home again, Kathleen.
Right?
So, anyway, I'm gonna finish up with Kirby there
Sure,
first.
yep.
So, but yes, 30 years ago yesterday was one of the saddest days of my entire life. Jack, and look, you guys know me. I mean, it's not the first time I talk about Jack. I do a whole month dedicated to him in August, of course. August will always be Jack Kirby month, just like this month is Superman month. But I wanted to talk about him just a bit because, again, yes, like I said, 30 years. I was like, wow, it's been that long. I'll never forget that day. Never, ever. I mean, I talk all the time about my crappy memory, but man, it's so vivid. I mean, I could see, I could, hear the conversation. And it turns out, when I got that call, there was no internet or that kind of stuff, really. I mean, I got this call. I mean, not much of one anyway.
Was it 94? When did he pass
94.
away? Yep.
And there's no internet or anything like that. So there was, but you know,
Wow,
what I mean.
there was, yeah.
Yeah, common like it is now. So news didn't travel like that. Especially not for, now if it had been Stan Lee at the same time, it'd have been all over the place because we all know that he's got all the attention. But no, did make the news eventually, but it was like, in passing, right? But I got a call just a couple hours after it happened because it made the comic industry, of course, they all, when the king dies, that's right there. He took a walk out to a mailbox and fell down. I mean, it was
a heart attack or
pretty much, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some things you just don't forget, Stephen. That's right. So Jack, so creative. I mean, he just nonstop ideas busting out of his head all the time, and he couldn't wait to put them on paper.
Did you say they took away his keys because he was doodling in the car or something? He got to a
certain point at a certain age. Yes, they only get his Superman month. I'm just taking a bit of a side now to talk about Jack's passing, but yeah, we'll do some Superman tonight.
Well, he did draw Superman.
He drew Superman in his Fourth World Saga, yeah. And by the way, he did great. He did great with Superman. And that we just reviewed the Fourth World Saga again, and my first time to read it, but it was the first time for Sean and J-Man. But it was the Superman stuff in there. Jimmy Olsen, Superman's great. Kirby Superman. I mean, that's just a monumental. And but he's always just finding way. He's always bursting with ideas. He was always coming up with stuff. Yeah, they said, they couldn't really rely on him to drive that much because he was always just.
He was doodling.
He was always not so much doodling, but I mean, like just coming up with ideas and stuff. And yeah, I mean, he was just preoccupied, I guess.
My dad was an inventor, so he loved taking drives. We'd pick up parts for work, so he'd take like an hour drive, an hour back, but he'd get a lot of ideas. Yeah. But I hope he wasn't. I don't think
he'd drive. He'd get distracted, like I said. Yeah, like Fanny said, that was reported. That was true.
Yeah.
Claude Salling, hey there. So he, I'll never forget. I don't know. If, one time, Minimus called their phone up, called the Kirby residence. When did you do that? Back in the 90s or something, I think it was, and got Roz on the phone and just talked to her for a few minutes.
No way.
Yep, he did. He did.
You need to pretend to be from Publishers Clearinghouse.
Nah, I just talked to her about Jack for a few minutes. Jack wasn't there, I think. So there were all kinds of famous stories about the Kirbys. They would take like kids would hitchhike young kids to their house out in Thousand Oaks, California when they lived out there. Kirby moved there around 69 or whatever it was, 70, what it was. And they would go out there from all the way across the country. And the Kirbys would take them in, feed them, show them the studio, let them watch Jack draw, talk, and just treat them like, their kids, and just, really be nice to them and stuff like that. I mean, it's just amazing. Wonderful people. And like I said, you meet them and talk to them. Both times I met them, they made me feel like they make you feel like they're one of their grandkids right there. I mean, it's like, man, they're just incredible. They were really sweet.
didn't have a huge ego. It sounds like he wasn't a
All
blowhard.
people have. He had a different kind than most people, I guess. But sure, he did. I mean, in the sense, I guess he believed in himself. Yeah, I mean, he was pretty sure of himself in some ways, but he was also very soft spoken. Yeah, he believed he could kick anybody's ass. I know that because he grew up in Hell's Kitchen. Joe Dog.
Hey,
And
Joe Dog.
I mean, he got threatened by a bunch of neo Yahtzees at Marvel, Timely one time because they didn't like what he was doing on Captain America, and they had to hold him back. He wanted to go in there and fight all of them. And he didn't care.
There's some people back then that supported the Yahtzees. Famously, the King of England.
Jack wanted to fight those bitches, and he did go fight them in real life.
Yeah.
So in real life, he went there. Like I say, if you watch, I don't know if you should see that documentary. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's amazing. And
Jack
it talks
Kirby
about
at War, right?
It's called Kirby at War.
Kirby at
I
War.
think, it's it talks about how the war affected his art, and it's all in his art. I mean, it's amazing when you finally see that thing and it talks about it. Daniel Link says, "You think that Jack would appreciate the Superman animated series of the 90s? He probably would." Think about Jack. A lot of people don't realize is Jack never read comic books. Jack would not read any other comics. He drew comics. There's the link. This link that Tex put in there, everybody, it's the Kirby at War documentary. I highly recommend it. It's on YouTube, I guess. So it's on Tubi and stuff like that as well, or Amazon if you prefer, or was on Amazon. Did you know that about Jack Kirby? He never read comics. He didn't want to read.
That's interesting.
Well,
how did he follow what was going on? I guess he just created it all.
He didn't care. He didn't. I mean, it's not that he.
I'm joking about that.
But
he
didn't want to influence himself with
Spider-Man.
Yeah, but he wanted two things. He didn't want to influence himself with other people's comics, and he didn't want to have to critique, or he didn't want to be in a position for someone to ask him to critique anyone else's comics. So he would say, if they would ask him, "What do you think about this comic?" He wouldn't read it. He said, "I don't know." He wouldn't read it.
Interesting. I never knew that.
He wasn't going to go after any other artist. If you showed him a comic book, he said, "I won't." And he wouldn't read it. I mean, that's again. It's strange. It's odd, but yeah, I mean, remember when Jack was a kid, he was a kid. He was very young when he started, but when he was a kid, there were no comics. He read, dime novels or pulps and other types of fiction and watched movies and stuff and read books and about, factual books, different things like that. I mean, he was well read, but, by the time he was of the age that you would start buying comics back then, he was already young in his teens doing art and drawing comic strips, stuff like that. He read comics as a kid, and he read some of the strips anyway that were out there. But as far as comic books, there almost weren't any until he got started. I mean, very few. But he read Flash Gordon, and Buck Rogers strips and things like that. Yeah. But then he didn't grow up like us reading comics because there was nothing to read. He was making them for everybody by then. He was a professional. So does that mean he's never read anyone else's other comic? I don't know. He
must have read a few.
I don't know if that's true or not, but he didn't generally read them. Obviously, he would go over his own and stuff. But, that's what he said, and that's what others have said. So,
the reason I mention that is just because, when you if you want to know what's going on in Marvel, you got to read, the other issues. Of course, he's doing most of it back in the day, I guess, when they started. But if you're doing, a crossover or something like that, but I guess the editors can fill you in pretty quickly on what's happening. And he knew the basics, I'm sure. But I can't imagine he wouldn't have read Ditko's Spider-Man, I guess.
Nope, he didn't. Nope. He did not. He didn't want. I mean, he just felt like an influence. I don't know if it was not like he. Obviously, he can't say he didn't love comics.
It's not a slight.
It wasn't an insult. No. Does that mean he never looked at some other comic? I'm not saying that, but he never sat there and read them and stuff. He said he didn't read comics. Empress M, hey there.
I didn't have time. He was drawing them. He's creating them 24/7, right? Yeah.
The mob collector was trying to force Will Eisner to strip to switch to a mob-run towel service. Kirby confronted the guy and left. Kirby was a tough kid. He got in a lot of fights as a kid and stuff. He was a short guy, but he was tough, man. He was, and he wanted to beat the crap out of Stan when he was a kid. He's told that story a couple times. I'm talking about when Stan was like a little brat kid hanging around, bugging the older guys. Anyway, yeah, it's true, Larry. That's right. Veterans created the best things. Roddenberry, Kirby, Set. Yeah, it's true. Very true, sir. So, interestingly, one of the saddest days of my life was 30 years ago yesterday, and today is 14 years ago today was one of the happiest days of my life. So it's kind of weird how those 2 days are back to back. So,
well, I got married in
Pat S.
1994. Hey, Pat
Pat
S.
S, what's up? Wow, did you? Oh, there you go. There you go.
Seems like just yesterday. It can't be that. Doesn't seem like that long ago. Yeah.
Keely Chow, roll tide, buddy. Yep, 14 years ago yesterday, my back when I cared, beloved New Orleans Saints became world champions. So, and that's something I never thought I would live to see. But I know we're not doing. Don't worry, folks. No sports ball here. I just got through doing sports ball over there with Dad Man. But just saying,
roll tide.
That was a big day for me. Roll tide, Keely Chow.
Well, it's nice when and I'm a big time hockey fan. So when the Rangers won in 1994, a fan in the stands of the Garden is like, Rangers win. Now I can die happy. So
there you go.
Paraphrasing, but because and now it's almost the Rangers are, knock on wood, pretty good this year. But it's been, the chant used to be when did they last win? 1954. So fans would chant 1954, something, whatever it was, and now I think it's 30 years. It's what's 54 versus 94. It's getting close to that drought again. So hopefully they'll break through soon.
Go sports ball or sports puck. Don't worry, everybody. I'm waiting for the first sports ball complaint. Don't worry, I promise you, we're done with the sports balling.
Yeah, it's just like when you. Well, I just want to say too, it's like when you're a fan of something, like if I'm not like you're a fan of like a franchise or you get depressed when things go wrong. If you're a Star Wars fan, it's the same kind of feeling about things.
It's a similar fan thing. There's no question about it. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Now, by the way, Max Redstone, you're still here. Couple of announcements for the next 2 Wednesday nights. Yeah, I agree. Daniel Lincoln's damn shame about Carl Weathers. You guys, by the way, on Nick's show last night, reviewed as a tribute to Carl Weathers, you reviewed Action Jackson, right?
Yes, we did. Yeah, no, that was a great show.
Cool.
And we had over, at one point, I think we had 120 people watching. Nick's getting some good crowd for that. That
he was great. Carl Weathers was amazing. He was Apollo Creed, baby.
It's a cheesy, silly, fun action movie. Don't get mad at me.
I don't think I ever watched it. I don't think I've ever watched it.
It's fun. Movie. It's a fun one. It's a typical 80s adrenaline surge with some great, great puns. Or he's like, you almost tore that kid's arm off. It's like we had a spare,
Yeah.
And there's some fun. Yeah, there's some fun. Fun.
Oh, wait a minute. WB sniped the entire stream. Is that a joke, Empress?
What does that mean?
Did WB do something to the stream? He said,
I know what that means.
I think maybe he meant snipped, but is it sniped? He said sniped.
Sniped is 2 P's, isn't it?
Yeah. No, that would be 1. I think snipped would be 2 P's. Oh, I'm sorry you're feeling bad, Penny, my dear. I'm so sorry. I hope you feel better. Get well soon, better, Penny. Yeah. Love seeing you. So, Empress, when you no, it's there apparently. What are you referring to? He said went back to rewatch it, and it was claimed by WB.
Oh,
wow. Did Nick fix that? Is it back up now? According to D-Bud, it's back up.
Let me go check and see.
Oh wow.
Sometimes it's different. There's a copyright claim, which really, and that stream gets instantly demonetized anyway because of the language those guys.
Because of the language.
Those guys have. So, but and I try to keep the clips really short, like 5 to 6 minute seconds.
Oh man.
Let me see if it's let me pull it up. Let's see.
D-Bud put a link.
As long as it's still there, yeah. But if it's
still there.
Good. And you don't get a ton of money from the streams anyway. Unless the big guy. Yeah, well, it's like a few bucks. Hey, Sci-Fi Mambi. It's a few
Sci-Fi
shekels.
Mambi.
But it's the main thing is all the membership chats and the super chats and stuff like that.
Yeah, hey, Sci-Fi Mommy, good to see you there. Go Chiefs! I'll say that for you, but I won't say go Taylor Swift about that. But it's good to see you. So well, it didn't get. Looks like but so it got claimed for a bit, but it came back apparently.
Or maybe Nick had to pull some of the. Sometimes they say silence some of the music or something. That happens too.
Yeah, but YouTube's. Well, it's not just YouTube. It's whoever is the copyright holder that can be bitches.
Yeah, and they can pull things down too. But I always leave the clips. And what happens too, as I'm showing the slideshow, sometimes that gets. They think you're showing the movie when you're really not showing the movie. You're just.
He probably got demonetized.
Yeah, but he gets demonetized instantly with that stream. Because of the language and what he does with it, so it's like the clip is like how soon are we demonetized? That's the running joke.
Is there a Toxic Tuesday that hasn't been demonetized? But he doesn't have one.
I'm wondering. Yeah,
I'd have to ask Nick, but
there's one that was totally pulled was Tango and Cash episode 6 because of course me I have a spreadsheet of all the episodes and that's also so we can track what shows.
Is it still pulled?
It's still pulled, yeah. So you think he was going to have him put it on Rumble, but I think they were showing. This is way back when the show started, so I think he was showing, like 20-second clips. Or I wasn't on that show too, so can't blame me. So no, the show is back up. Yeah,
that's true. Empress Jerry our buddy Gary gets demonetized in the first 3 seconds as soon as he talks.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
Oh, shit. So, announcements for the next 2 wild card Wednesday nights. My good buddy Maximum Redstone is going to come on here. We've argued back and forth with him in the chat. You know how I hate Superman 2? The Lester cut, and I have problems with the Diner cut. Just in general. Well, he's wanted to argue about that for a long time. Now, of course, you all know I never like to argue with anybody about anything. You all know I don't like to.
No, you never do. Yeah.
No, I don't. I never do that sort of thing. So childish to argue with people. But Maximum Redstone, we were talking about it the other night. So we've decided, and I decided to we give us another week so we can talk, get it ready. Even though I did watch it last night. I've seen it so many times that I didn't even really need to watch it again. But yeah, I want to watch it so I could, refresh myself and bitch about it. So Maximum Redstone and myself next Wednesday night will be talking. We'll be in Superman month, of course. We'll be talking about Superman 2, Electric Boogaloo, the Lester cut. We're going to talk about both cuts, really, and why I hate it and why he loves it, I guess. Now, when I say hate it, it's tongue in cheek. I mean, there's some things I love in it, but it was such a disappointment for me when it came out. But anyway,
I loved it. I was in the movie theater that night. So
in that case, you're not allowed to be there. No, I'm just kidding. You can be there with us. No, you're definitely, you're allowed. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But then 2 weeks from tonight, the great Michael French will be joining me. We'll be talking about Superman movies. He's a big Superman fan as well. Also, so the next, because the 21st, I believe that is. We will have Michael French from Retro Blasting will be joining me to talk Superman movies, so including the Donner cut and some other things. So looking forward to that. Also, Super Month continues Monday night. On Monday night, Mark C. Comics Talk. We'll have a Clobby's Classic Comics review. My buddy Carlos from Comics Mania will be joining me for a review we meant to do last year that he couldn't make it. If he doesn't make it this time, he's going to get hurt. I'm going to bust him up bad. The filthy bastard. So Carlos is going to join me to review Superman Annual number 11. Whatever happened to the man? For the Man Who Has Everything. Great story. So that's some. So we have definitely some Superman goodness, and haven't decided yet what I'm going to do. Superman actually it's his birthday month, February, but as you know, it's a leap year usually. But this year, there is a February 29th this year. So Superman's birthday really does happen this year. I mean, I always celebrate it anyway, of course. So we'll definitely have a Superman birthday party, and If I do it on the 29th, the only problem is it's on it's on a Thursday. DJ Ronnie G. So I have to do it before J-Man. I don't know. We might do it on J-Man's channel. We'll see. Because J-Man said he's interested in it. But Picasso says, you guys talk comics, remind me of old comic shops. A member for 10 months. Thank you so much for being a member, Picasso. I appreciate you, buddy, and I appreciate the kind words. That's what I always wanted to feel like, comic shop talk. That's what it's like to me. That's what we're doing it for, buddy. So the fact that you say that makes me feel good. I appreciate that, brother. And Mark makes it even more like one when he shows us really crappy comics.
Yeah. Well, great new stuff. Yeah.
Tobor the robot. What's up? Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Tobor the robot. What is up? It is good to see you, my robotic friend. You need an episode devoted to the Superman robots. That's a good idea. I love the Superman robots. Superman Robot 1, Superman Robot 2, the ones in the fortress. I love that. I am the robot. I am Tobor the robot. Good old comic shop talk. That's right. So, yeah, buddy. Superman month. We should probably, even though it's a wild card opening thing, let's see. Anybody out there have? I'll tell you what. We'll use the opening tonight, since we'll have. Let me look at my. Let me look at the. Let me look at my calendar here. Okay. Today's the 7th. The 28th is, so we have 14th, that's going to be Max. The 21st, hey, Putin's cat, what's up? The 21st, I'm talking about Wednesday nights now this month. And so the 28th, what's a Superman-related topic for a Wednesday night if you all have any suggestions for one? A Superman-related topic. If it's a comics and Superman-related topic, we'll do it on a Monday night, of course. But if it's anything outside of that, I was thinking maybe something to do with cartoons. What do you think? Fleischer cartoons, Larry, that's good. Cartoons in general, yeah.
You can show the Fleischer cartoons, too. They're in public domain now, yeah.
Yeah, it's true. We'll get in trouble.
Not that you'd play the whole thing, but you could just, play a few seconds just to analyze it. Yep.
So, that's true. I could, show those for opening credits and no one could do anything, right?
No, yeah. It's public domain, yep. Same thing with Steamboat Willie.
Next Wednesday, it's Valentine's Day. Will we get romance? Well, we will, actually. If you count me and Max Redstone hanging out being romantic, then Putin's cat, yeah. Of course, Putin's cat, you're going to be watching Madam Web that night. But
well, that's Sydney Sweeney as Julia Carpenter. I don't know. She might be worth the price of admission if you've seen pictures of her. But
gaggle. So. Daniel Link says, "Who's your favorite Superman?" I guess SM. I think he means Superman villain. Which villain do you think is the most underrated? That's a good question, and we are here to field any Superman questions tonight. So Daniel Link, I would have to say, I hate to go with the cliche. Superman is Superman's perfect villain is Luthor because he's, it's the brain versus brawn type thing. The thing is, Superman's smarter. There's just something about Luthor that makes him the best, but I do love Brainiac, so there are a couple that are close. But as far as the underrated one, that's interesting. Terraman's the great. Just kidding. I was going to say Terraman's underrated, but he's not. I know Luthor's the standard answer, but Brainiac's almost as great. So let's see. Superman villain. Underrated. What was it? Man, that's a good question. Problem is, I guess I'll go with the Parasite. Maybe he's slightly underrated because he is tough. Parasite saps his power, and he is tough to beat. And you don't see Parasite that much anymore, do you?
No.
You do see him, though. I mean, I don't know if there are any underrated ones because there's either really good ones or really silly ones. Like, Mr. Mitch Pitlick's only really good for the fun stuff, and he's great when Alan Moore used him in for the man. Whatever happened for the Man of Tomorrow. Watch it, Cloudy. Now, you may not remember a voice conversation about this yesterday, but I do. Okay, maybe I don't, but maybe I can make one up. I'm not sure what that quote is.
Not sure either. Yeah.
Okay to post a Kirby question, but oh, sure, Ravenscroft, please do. And all questions are. It's still open talk tonight, so yeah. Kim Cattrall, where? Linda Park, Barbara Luna, BB Besh, all Star Trek ladies. Where? Why are you just naming them for the hell of it, or what? I'll take them. Barbara Luna.
She's a cutie patootie to quote Cal.
Yes, and yes, sir. Ravenscroft says, at some point, I'd love to see you review, and even briefly, the multi-part first appearance of Mangog in Thor. The Kirby art is wonderful on that. Oh, yeah. Great Kirby art on that one.
Yeah.
Think Bill Everett or somebody. That would be great. I would love to do that, and we'll do it. You got it. It'll happen, and then when I do, I'll make sure you know about it. He said he asked favorites. Someone asked for favorites. Who did? Anyway, that's cool. No problem. You could name Star Trek ladies. I'm fine with it. Yeah. Kirby did. That's true. Kirby did write a lot of romance comics. Larry sure did. Matthew Bender said Kirby Soup's love interest. Are you shipping Superman? Who's your? Nah. Yeah, the two Superman serial starring Kirk Allen. True story. I bought the VHSs of that from Mr. Kirk Allen himself.
Wow.
Of Superman. It was The Adventures of Superman, I think, and Adaman versus Superman. If I remember the titles correctly. I asked top 5 Star Trek ladies to spend Valentine. Oh, I got you. Those are good ones, JT. I'm right there with you, sir. So, Kirk Allen was at a con in 1988 here in my hometown. I had my comic shop at the time, and I had a table set up. And so went over there, and he had a set up there and everything. I mean, it wasn't a big con because we didn't have those here back then. We still don't, the New Orleans gets big ones now, but here, it was nothing. But he was super nice, and he had a book he'd written. I bought the book, got it signed, and I bought the VHS, these double VHSs of the complete serials, the Superman serials, because I had not ever seen them at that point, and so I was pretty excited. And that was to meet the first actor to really play Superman. No, I'm not talking about I know the radio show guy, Bud Collyer, was first. And no, I'm not talking about Ray, whatever his name is, who played him in costume at the. People like to get pedantic and say, well, the first one was that Ray, whatever, I can't remember his name now, who played him at the World's Fair in that costume. Okay. And Bud Collyer did do him on the radio show, but I'm talking about on screen in a movie. Even though it was a movie serial, of course. Kirk Allen, who also played Blackhawk, by the way. You ever seen those Superman serials?
I don't think I have. I mean, I've just seen, like clips of them and stuff. I don't think I've watched them all the way through.
You seen Captain Marvel?
Yeah, Captain Marvel is, that's phenomenal. God, but I don't think I've watched the Superman.
Superman was a good too. You know that they animated his flying scenes?
Yeah. Because I was reading an article comparing it to the Captain Marvel, which did the dummy or the which actually looks pretty damn good when you watch that Captain Marvel cereal. The
Yeah,
way
those
they
were
did
good.
those special effects. I mean, they did a dummy with like a rocket, I guess, or they somehow propelled it with CO2 or whatever they did back then. Looked damn good. I mean,
No, I love
obviously,
it. Yeah, that's
yeah,
great cereal.
that's
Yeah,
public
yeah,
domain too. We could watch that show
yeah,
clips
it's
of that.
true.
Oh yeah,
But I always thought it's kind of fun. It was like, man, when he would jump up and he would fly, and it would be a cartoon.
yeah.
It was pretty cool. And it was
That's the only way they could do it, I guess, rather than the Captain Marvel
well, they could have done it the Captain
technique.
Marvel way. I don't know what was cheaper. Well, you would think the animation would have cost more.
That's true. Yeah, maybe they just thought it would look better, or back
Yeah.
then.
I guess. I mean, imagine you're a kid back then and you're seeing like he's turning into a cartoon. Oh my god! And he's not a cartoon anymore.
He's not. Yeah,
And that's had to be weird. It weirded me out, and it was 1988 because I mean, I'd seen like pictures from it in mags, but I don't think I'd gotten to see it much of them. And watched it and like, man, it was cool. Those are good though.
yeah.
They're better than the Batman ones, to be perfectly honest with you.
Raquel loved that Batman cereal. Was
Yes, she
the
did.
second
She
one
liked.
she watched? Or
I think it was the first one from
First one?
'43 with Lewis Wilson.
Yeah, because and that actually helped the Batman series get made too. I think it wasn't really popular on college campuses at the time, or they started showing them the serials again, and
Yeah,
it became a big hit. And I remember reading that helped
could be. Yeah,
the Batman '66 series
yeah.
take off. Yep.
Well, did you ever watch the George Reeves show, The Adventures of Superman?
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh god, yeah, yeah. Love that.
Love it. Yeah. I couldn't help as a kid loving it, but I used to have a complaint. All right, bro, be good, man. Tex, always great to have
Take
you,
your
brother.
text.
Take care, bro. Have a good night. Or good rest. Clock out. You're getting off. Then cool. Way to go, man. Yeah, always. Even back then as a kid, and I loved that show. I had fanboy complaints. I don't know about you. Where like, he's great. I didn't care about the flying, that he was like just laying on a board or some shit. I didn't give a shit about that. I was happy this fly. I didn't care. I didn't care about that kind of stuff. All I cared about was he didn't have villains. He had gangsters and stuff like that. And
it was everyday crime.
Yeah, it was just normal crime. It wasn't like super villains or anything. This was before heat vision, really, but it's X-ray. They called it heat vision, it's X-ray vision or whatever. But
I have to say, watch as a very little kid when I first started watching. You didn't care. You didn't.
No, you didn't give a shit.
Superman, but then you're right. When you watch it later, you realize certain things. Yeah,
that's why my favorite episode had nothing to do with criminals. Yeah, I hear you, Ravenscroft, saying complain about the Spidey TV show. Yeah, exactly. That's why my favorite episode had nothing to do with criminals. My favorite episode of the Adventures of Superman, George Reeves, was called Panic in the Sky. I believe that was a black and white one. I'm remembering it right. Are you familiar with the one where they had a meteor coming at Earth?
Oh, that was one with the aliens, or the
No, just a meteor was about to hit Earth, and Superman went out there and hit it, and he fell back to Earth and lost his memory, and the thing was still coming. It was like he damaged it, but it wasn't. He didn't take it out completely yet, and his memory was messed up. He went and he dressed up back as Clark Kent, and he forgot who he was. And the whole world was like, "Oh my God, this thing's going to hit us."
Where's Superman? Right? Yeah.
Where's Superman? He didn't know who he was. He had to figure out who he was and stuff. That's a great episode. That's my favorite one. Panic in the Sky. But eventually, and it's kind of funny though. They said, "Well, you can't." Hey, Walter Tomaszewski, hey there.
Hey, Walter.
Was there a comic with all the alchemical elements, and other one with the pure heart and evil heart? A comic with all the alchemical elements and all the another one with pure heart. And
Talking
evil
about the Fleischman cartoon or the TV
comic.
show?
It's a comic.
Comic.
I need a little bit more from you on that one, Walter. I'm sorry, I'm not sure. I need a little bit more info from you for the question. But if you could give me a little bit more. I'll do what I can to see if I can answer it. So he had to go fly onto that asteroid, and there was a scene, the scientists gave him this bomb that would help blow it up. It was a little ass bomb. And he lands on it, and there's an atmosphere, of course. What the hell? I remember seeing that. Even as a kid,
there's always an atmosphere. It's a Class M asteroid.
It was a Class M asteroid.
Why not?
But yeah, and we used to make fun of it when somebody would empty a gun on him and it would just bounce off. And then they would throw the gun at his head and he would duck.
Yeah, he would duck. Yeah, because the gun's gonna hurt. I mean,
you could just catch it
in real
life. It would hurt. So it's like
it would hurt the stuntman, or the actor. Yeah.
Did you see that stupid movie Hollywoodland about him?
Well, there's a lot of controversy about his
that was pretty
passing.
Fake. I will say Ben Affleck was kind of okay in it as George Reeves, but there's a scene in there. I don't know if it's true or not, or if it's apocrypha. That's based on legend. I don't know if it's true or not. Where this little kid brings a gun to some event that he's at as Superman, and wants to shoot him to show the bullet bounce off because he knows.
I could see that happening though.
I could see it happening. And he had to talk the kid out of it. And he says basically, yes, it won't hurt me, but it'll bounce off and it might hit somebody else. You don't want to hurt anybody, do you?
Think quick.
If that happened, that's very super of him. Sean MNT, what's up? And said Metal Men, I think, is the first one. Well, Metal Men sounds like similar to what you might be talking about. Walter might be mentioning. Steven says, it's a great episode, but I always wondered when Perry, Jimmy, and Lois went to visit him, they didn't recognize him as Superman without his glasses on. Man, yeah. Then there was the episode where he inadvertently murdered two people. Do you remember that?
It's been so long since I watched that show. Yeah, can't remember.
There's an episode where these couple of criminals stumbled onto his apartment or something. They found out that Clark Kent was Superman. So he flew them up to this remote mountain that was so high up to this, and they couldn't. Yeah, there was just, and he was gonna. He says he'll bring them food and all that stuff. He was going to, they were gonna have to live there forever because they know his identity and they can't risk it. And he said, "I'll bring you food and all kind of stuff. You'll be all right, but you're gonna have to stay up here because you know my identity." And then eventually they got tired of it, so they decided to leave. So they tried to climb off the mountain. And they fell off and died.
Wow,
that was an episode of Superman. No, they're not kidding. Captain Doom, Finity, Temperus Maximus. Say, hey, but
yeah, but there were no other super villain. There was never a super villain on that show, correct? I mean,
no super. Yeah, I mean, correct. There's no super villains. Also, I think there was a comic called Fool Killer. There was. That was. That is true, Walter. Well, it's good to see you, Sean. We appreciate our lurkers. Absolutely.
Yeah. Lurkers are great.
Appreciate you all. Thank you all for being here tonight. But yeah, that was, like I said, that was a good show. And did you know that it was almost a Superboy show? Well, there was one later, but I'm talking about back then.
Oh, back then they almost did one, yeah.
There was a pilot, a guy named Johnny Rockwell. There was a Superboy pilot, which I have seen. I have it somewhere. It's probably on YouTube by now. That was made that just didn't get off the ground. There's also one called Super Pup. There was a puppet show that they made, but yeah. Anyone else see the old Superboy pilot? Fanty probably has. Those two immediately left the cabin as soon as he left to get them more supplies. Yes, and they died.
It must be on one. Is it on one of the special edition DVDs? I'm wondering, or
what?
The pilot. Was it ever?
It made rounds like on bootlegs and stuff. I'm sure it might be on some DVD now.
Yep. I remember my aunt used to tell me watching that show, Superman's an old man now, Mark. She teased me because that show was in the 50s. Superman is an old man now.
We wish he'd been an old man, but he would have been. That means he would have been alive. You know, it's so weird watching that show growing up as a kid. I didn't find out that George, Reeves was dead until I got into my teens.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
he was alive as far as I was concerned until someone told me about his, that he passed away. And I was bummed about it. I'm like, at that point, he'd been
Sure,
dead
yeah.
for 20 years almost or whatever. But I was like, oh man, no way. Holy crap. Not Superman.
Right.
Yeah. Shit. Poor old George Reeves, man. Now, I believe, I almost believe it was foul play involved in that, but I guess I just want to. He was in Gone with the Wind.
Oh, he was, yeah.
Yep. George Reeves. His initial name was George Besselo, and he had another name after that. They changed. I think he was born George Besselo or whatever. I remember that, or either that or that. Maybe that was his stepfather's name. I can't forget it because he had a couple of different names, but I know the name George Besselo.
Interesting, yeah.
Now I have 3 solid reasons why City on the Edge Forever is the best time travel story ever. Well, I don't know what they are, but you won't get an argument out of me. I think it's the best. Best time travel story ever. Yeah.
And it's accidental time travel, which is has to be the case. You can't have this temporal time core and people at the academy teaching you about time travel and what to do when time travel happens. I mean, that just drives me crazy. It's like time travel is codified. So,
time travel, and that's a wonderful story because you don't have to explain it. I mean, that's one of the things. But I don't usually, obviously, time travel is a fun fantasy concept. It shouldn't be always taken too seriously, but when you try to mix it too much in something that's trying to use more science fiction, that's where I have a problem. Like, for example, Back to the Future is pure comedy, pure like fun and comedy anyway, so you shouldn't take the time travel in that seriously, in my opinion. Doctor Who is a science fantasy show, so the fact that the Time Lords have complete mastery over time. Mikey Susie 4, hey there. Good to see you, Mikey Suze. Mikey Suze 4, I hope I'm saying it right. I'm mixing no time. So I don't mind time travel for fun, for laughs, and of course H.G. Wells, and I love it in Time After Time. But for the most part, it can really be abused. And yeah, no undoing the past is a good one. Yeah. Mikey Sue said, we just brought the 2-part DVD. He just bought the 2-part DVD of Gone with the Wind. Good stuff. And George Reeves plays one of the Scarlett O'Hara's Bo. Sorry. Yes. What the hell is a gigawatt? But Bill and Ted and, just goofy stuff like that, whatever, man.
It's fun stuff, yeah. It can still annoy you, though.
My pleasure, Captain. The thing is, Cap, I'll tell you one that I don't like. And I get in a lot of trouble for this when it comes to time travel. I don't like Quantum Leap. Everyone loves it. It's actually, but it is an interesting way to time travel. In other words, inside.
It's not really time travel. It's alternate dimensions.
But he does he goes into, he possesses bodies of people in different.
Oh, you Quantum Leap. I'm thinking of Sliders, but I'm still not.
Yeah, that's Sliders.
100%. I'm thinking Sliders. Yeah.
Right. I got you. No, it's okay. Honest mistake. But Quantum Creep, he's possessing the bodies of other people in time, but he's not physically going in time. That's one thing. Yeah, it breaks the laws every week because without Sam there, in that person's body, obviously things would go differently. But see, even though I don't like the show that much, it's a fantasy show, so it is a clever concept.
And that's the concept of the show, too. It's not like Star Trek where it's an accident that first time. But then you're stuck with time travel being codified, and then they mess with it, and they do all the movies have time travel.
Right.
Stop, enough already.
My biggest problem is Star Trek abusing it. Other shows, can abuse the hell out of it, and it's not as big of a deal if they're setting their own rules, and it's kind of a dopey fantasy or whatever. But when Star Trek does it, it drives me crazy because Star Trek is, I mean, for example, the Guardian of Forever, we don't know how it does it, and it just does, and it's the Guardian of Forever, and you just buy into it because it's a great. So the time travel is a big part of it, but they set things right also. So time, and that's, if anything, Sitting on the Edge Forever is trying to say that time is very delicate and very, very, easily screwed up, and we can't let it screw up. So, but anyway, it is headache inducing either way you do it. But I don't sweat it if it's kind of a lighthearted comedy. No, Doctor Who, in later Doctor Who, not so much. The classic show didn't do it that much, but the new Who screwed around with time to the point where it really got ridiculous. And the Time Lords kept things straight pretty much, but in New Who, he plays around with time so much. No. And he changes shit all the time, or at least in some of them. The time travel in Avengers Endgame was stupid and terrible. Mars Monkey Max, hey there. Avengers Endgame was, now look, comic books are another thing. Comic books have done time travel, and it's pretty silly, but let's face it, those time travel story and comic books are pretty much for kids. They're wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, but they're for their kid stuff.
Yeah.
And time travel movies or books, I mean, I got it. For example, I love Time After Time. I love that movie. And it really didn't screw with time that much. Whereas H.G. Wells' The Time Machine also didn't really screw with time that much. He didn't really change anything. Plus, remember when H.G. Wells wrote it. So. Sound of Thunder, yeah. Well, Bradbury was amazing. So, there's a great writer right there, Ray Bradbury.
For sure, yep.
He was something. Yeah. So now Superman is another thing. He did manipulate time in Superman the movie. And of course, I do love comic. See, like I said, I make a pass for comics because comics are for kids, or like superhero comics are for kids. And I read them as a kid. I had no problem with the fact that Superboy frequently traveled from the 1960s to the 30th century to hang out with his buddies in the Legion of Superheroes. But every time he would go back, hey, Dad Man and the Dad Man clan, what's up, dude?
Dad Man.
Every time he would go back, Saturn Girl had this thing planted in his mind where he would forget what's going on. So he didn't know the future. So there was a precaution. Superboy didn't know his future, even though the Legionnaires did. Yeah. So.
Well, that's too dangerous, right? Take that knowledge back. Yep.
Yeah.
An almanac, right? And you know
right.
all the sports winners, right? Yep.
Yeah.
All the sports ball winners. Yep. I know who's going to win the Super Bowl.
I know who's going to win the Super Bowl too, but that's
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, Taylor Swift is going to win, and CBS, because they're going to show her a million times. I know. Sorry,
the ratings. Sorry, yeah, but the ratings are going to be massive for that game. Yeah.
I don't understand that.
Even more massive.
Well, Super Bowls already have massive people.
Yeah.
A lot of people watch it that don't even watch football, but they're watching it they're at a party, or they're watching it for the freaking, they're for the commercials,
the food.
But now you're saying that in the halftime show. Now you're saying that a bunch of little girls are going to be watching the Super Bowl so they can see Taylor Swift. They're going to show her 40 times.
Well, yeah, the NFL's got to be psyched. Yeah,
but what if he what if they only show when he makes a big play and he drops 5 passes? And he drops a touchdown pass.
Oh, doesn't matter. It's just going to be shown. Yeah. Should be shown crying,
God.
yeah. But I
Yeah.
mean, that's why they always had the big, Marvel movie announcements or DC or any of the big movies. They'd have that big Super Bowl spot. Or I don't think there's nothing good coming up that we care about. But I remember back in the day, like I don't know if it was the Spider-Man movie. I'm trying to remember now, but that was a big deal when when you had that Super Bowl spot for your superhero movies.
Yeah. Yep. There'll probably be some pretty big trailers that no one's going to give a shit about in the Super Bowl this year because all the movies are terrible.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Remember, Back to the Future didn't happen, says Affinity. If I can see that it didn't happen, can I still love it anyway? Because I did enjoy them. I'm guilty of loving those movies, Captain. Well, 3 didn't happen. 3 I didn't care much for, but I kind of love those first 2 movies. If they didn't happen, that's okay. I don't mind them not happening as long as I can still love them. Because I did love them. I mean, I got it. I'm guilty of that. I admit it. I'm not defending the time travel, timey-wimey stuff. But again, I love Bill and Ted, those 2 movies, and they're way more ridiculous.
Right?
Or are they? Or Bill and Ted, they screw with time pretty good, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, that's the whole
Big time,
basis.
yeah.
But it's all it's a comedy, so you don't you don't mind it as much, I guess. Yeah, that's the premise. As long as you don't violate your universe's premise, that's what really gets you going too. When a show changes the rules, or Back to the Future has its rules on time travel, which they reference in the Marvel movies, which is hysterical.
Well, yeah, he says Bill and Ted is perfect for logic. Okay, good. All right, so, but since we're talking, it's a Superman night, we're going to talk about the end scene of Superman 1 when Superman goes back in time. Spoiler alert, right? So let me ask you this: since he went back in time right then and there after something happens, very close to the event, he still changed things. But was it so close that it doesn't matter? Like, I mean, it just had happened. Is that something you give a pass on? Because Superman can time travel. It just looked different in the movie. Hey, RT and Z, welcome. And he gives me still at work on a quick break, just dropping a quick non-contentious comment. Can we all agree that Superman 1978 is the best Superman film? I can, yeah. We disagree on MOS, but I hope we agree on this. We agree, and I wouldn't lie to you about a thing like that. And I love it dearly. It's my top, probably my all-time favorite movie. Depending on the day, sometimes Empire Strikes Back is my all-time favorite movie. Sometimes Superman the movie is my all-time favorite movie. I saw it 18 times in the theater in 1978/1979. So I love it. And thank you for that very generous super chat, my friend. I appreciate you. So it wasn't time travel? Okay. He is Temperus Maximus of time, so it wasn't time travel. But he did go back slightly.
In what?
Right?
In Superman or
in Superman? I mean, sort of.
Well, someone explained it to me like that's what you were seeing that's how it would have looked, but he wasn't going back. And
well, here's the thing about that. Yeah, all right. I'm glad you mentioned that. It was rewound. It wasn't necessarily rewound. Here's the thing that a lot of people said: he turned back the Earth. This was simply a visual effect. The way they interpreted it. If when I saw that for the first time, and he goes back, he spins the Earth spins backwards. That was just for visual effect, because in the comic books, when Superboy, would fly to see the Legion, he didn't use a time bubble like the Legion did. He just flew fast. He had a certain way where he would fly really. They just showed him, and they showed the gears going by him. So he just flew. They never explained how he was doing it in the comic book, to be fair. So he wasn't so much of turning the Earth back as he was just flying back. He has a way to go. I guess he flies counterclockwise to the spin of the Earth, and it helps him go back in time. Dave C., I'm not sure, because they never in the comic book say how he's doing it. He goes and he time travels. He would always just fly and end up back in time. And then
that's his perspective. Backward. I think that's his perspective of going back in time, not necessarily the Earth, turning backwards because that wouldn't work. I mean, you would just all fly off the planet. That's like
Aren't
him.
Right.
I think his perspective of time travel.
Aren't the two Supermen existing at the same time at that point? There should be. That's why it melts the brain.
Well, yeah, like in the Naked Time when they go backward from that slingshot effect, or because of the engine starting, they go back in time 3 days. So then at that point there are two Enterprises. So could they have gone back and warned the other Enterprise? I guess Kirk had the sense not to do that, but they could have. So at that point, for those 3 days, there are two Enterprises and two of the crew.
Yeah. Yep. Larry. Lisa Kirby is still around. Why do you ask? Mikey Sue's for says a 30-second spot for Super Bowl 58 in 2024 is speculated to cost over around $7 million. This is the same as average cost of 2023 and a significant increase for the previous years. Wow. Well, let's all pitch in to buy a commercial. What do you think?
Crud, I was going to promote my YouTube channel this weekend, but I guess I can't afford it.
Yeah, you might. We'll scrape up some pennies and we'll go get a Super Bowl ad.
Take some collections. Yeah, we need to. Let's all get together and do a Super Bowl ad. Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, on the Superman thing, my whole point of it is it's a silly, funny book movie. So, however he goes back in time, as long as it's just like for a second, that does. I mean, I agree with everyone else. I didn't like Lois, and I'm not a Lois guy. I'm a Superman fanatic, and I don't like Lois. Everyone, to be perfectly honest, and I didn't really care much for Margot Kidder, especially in Superman 2. Ugh. But so going back in time to save somebody like that, it's my least favorite part. But it's my least favorite part of the film, but I still don't mind. I love the movie so much it doesn't matter. It's coming from my heart and from my childhood.
She's great in that opening scene. Who's got
time vision?
Who's got?
She was fine in the first movie. She was fine in the first movie. Every time you think we are ready to print with the Grandfather Paradox booklet, Clobberin and Mark melt my poor noggin again. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Yeah.
You had it coming, Captain Von Doom Finity Temporis Maximus. That's part of your responsibility as a Time Lord.
And you know what I found in one of someone's desks, should be renamed nameless, was
Good night, RR.
Good night, RR. A copy of Playboy with Margot Kidder in it. Found, stacked away somewhere.
She was messing around with Richard Pryor for a while back then. You knew that?
No.
Yeah. I'm not a shipper or anything. I'm just saying.
Yep.
Yeah, but see, Superman,
she had a tragic life. She was writing her bibliography, and she had a lot of mental health issues. So God bless her. And she lost her whole bibliography and book that she'd been writing on a laptop. I think crashed or got stolen, or I'm forgetting the exact detail. But I know that it wasn't backed up, which is tragic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but see, don't sweat. You don't have to worry about Infinity. You don't have to worry about the time travel with Superman, because, like I say, in a movie about a superhero or comics, let them do all the silly time travel they want. In science fiction, it should be science fiction. The fantasy, So you exist, and you might not exist anymore. I'm not sure if you exist or not now. We'll have to let you exist for a while. Call the existence police. We're the time police. So, yeah, because he used to just willy-nilly fly into any time period that he wanted to fly into. Okay, go for it with your Superman question. Anyone else have any Superman questions? Superman, I can tell you this. I was talking about Superman 2 last night. I mentioned this last night. Hey, Talkie Toaster, want any toast? I know who you are, by the way, Talkie Toaster. Hey, Don Ranger Power. What's up, buddy?
Well, I was just watching Red Dwarf season 12 today. I watched, since I've been under the weather, I think I watched about 3 seasons of Red Dwarf. And when they go into the world where they're back in time, but they're time traveling in Red Dwarf, and no technology is not allowed. So one of the scenes, the soldiers are destroying a toaster. They pull a toaster out, and I'm like, oh God, it wasn't Talkie Toaster they destroyed, but the Red Dwarf. Wow. What episode was that? Season 12, episode 2, I think.
Wow, you're almost to the end.
I'm almost to the end. unfortunately. And Back to Earth was good, but not great.
No,
Very, very fan servicing.
but
then
10, 11, 12
but it
were
gets
bad.
yeah, they're pretty damn good. They got some good. The
How about,
characters are so
how about
good.
that Jesus episode?
Oh my god, the Jesus episode.
That was hilarious, dude.
Oh, I was dying watching that. I'm gonna burn in hell for watching it, but
It was
uh,
hilarious. The bag.
I was, yeah. So if you guys haven't seen it, it's a red dwarf. They end up time traveling back to 23 AD, and they're stuck. So they've got to find. They need to make an 8-volt battery. So there's no lemons in England. They end up in Britain at the time. So they've got to walk all the way to the Middle East to get lemons, or India. And then they encounter someone called Jesus there. I'll just leave it at that. And it's this hysterical riff. And then they've got to go all the way back, I guess, to get. Oh no, they find the copper. Yeah, of course, Crichton would have had been able to create an 8-volt battery anyway from his power cells. But I
Yes. By the way, Kango Kids Club, welcome. And yes, Talkie Toaster. I think you might. One of my suspicions is I thought you were Mark.
Oh, making fun with the
Yeah. If you're not Mark, I have only one other suspicion. If you're not him, you might have me on that. But I'm glad you're here, Talkie Toaster. Oh, by the way, Don Ranger Power, a good buddy J-Man posted a picture earlier today. He met the original Pink Ranger today. How cool is that,
wow.
mister? Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so you were saying, I'm sorry.
I'm trying to remember which episode.
Red Dwarf. Yeah.
Was it season? Well, I got to check which episode.
So now, if you run after 12, I think all there is the Promised Land.
Yeah, I'm on season 11, episode 3, and I was watching tonight. My wife is like, "What the hell?" Every time she's like, "What the hell are you watching? What's going on?" She's just at her computer desk in the family room. I'm like not watching it. Like, what the hell is this show? And I start to explain it to her. I'm like, well, you see, it's about this spaceship, and when there's a radiation leak, and everything. She's like, I didn't want to know.
Didn't you tell her, look, it's cold outside and there's no kind of atmosphere. I'm all alone, more or less. Let me fly far away from here. Fun. Song's catchy, isn't it?
That is a catchy. I never skipped the opening there. Yeah, so
I love the opening version of it, and then even the lyrics version at the end. I love it.
Yeah,
I even have a soundtrack with the extended version of the end song. Tex gave me.
Oh yeah. Oh cool.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm on season 11. All right. So I'm season 11, episode 3, and so that means, so not much left. Yeah, then
you're almost done. Yeah,
Promised Land is just like a movie, right?
It was a special. Yeah, I think it's like a 90-minute special or something.
Yeah, so it's not like 6.
And after that, it's
like
that's probably going to be it. I don't know. They've said they wanted to do more, but like I said, those later seasons are fun. They're okay. They're not quite. I don't know if they're as good as the greatest seasons, like 3 to 6, but they're
pretty darn good, I have to say.
Yeah, I like it. I'm still good.
Yeah.
Now, I'm glad you finally got to see season 7 with the scene when the Rimmer roller coaster. Oh God, that's one of the funniest things I've seen in my life, dude. When, if you're in trouble, he will save the day. He's brave and he's fearless, come what may. Without him, the mission would go astray. He's Arnold Rimmer. Without him, life would be much grimmer. He's handsome, trim, and no one slimmer. He will never need a Zimmer.
Yeah.
What's the other line? He's never been mistaken for a mule brenner. He's not bald and his head doesn't glimmer.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a crazy British humor, which I love. But yeah,
I love it.
Of course, then when they always encounter other people, the one thing that's confusing, I know we're digressing from Superman here, but they keep saying he's the last person at Lister's the last person alive, but then when the crew gets reconstituted and they just go off of the life pods and you don't know what happens, but it's like Earth still destroyed. They never explain what happens to Earth, I guess, or they're just so far away. They've gone out so far in the galaxy, but it doesn't really matter. But that seems kind of confusing where they.
It is fun though. Oh, I forgot. We had a question from Infinity about Superman.
Get to it. Yep.
If Superman kept rewinding the Earth back to 195, whatever, What if he prevented his capsule landing at Mullenpaw Kent's farm? Then it wouldn't exist to go back and prevent his existence. Wow. I don't have an answer other than to agree that, yes, he wouldn't exist anymore. So he prevents his own existence. Wow. That's time travel for you. Timey-wimey, right?
Yeah, and wouldn't exist. Yeah, he wouldn't exist, right? Yeah.
Mikey says, Backwards, greatest Red Dwarf episode ever. I love Backwards. I don't know. I would put it somewhere up there because it's such a crazy.
Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah.
I mean, it's what a concept. I love time slides too, and I love but in Backwards, yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. It's tough.
There's just some really good ones, but I think 3 through 6 or 7, probably the best seasons. But even watching these later shows, I mean, there's a huge gap between them too. So, it's they took a big hiatus, for 10 years before they came back with Back to Earth, and then let's see, 10 is 2012. 11 and 12 are 2016, 2017, and then the Promised Land is 2020. And like you said, that's probably it. But
Probably.
you never know. Never say never. But yeah, it's hysterical. Yeah, and there's some great hard sci-fi in these shows too. Interspersed with the comedy. There's always that comedy element. So we keep debating whether or not Raquel would like it. Like, should we ever review an episode for Raquel? But I'm guessing she probably wouldn't. But she might, though.
Yeah, I don't think so. I've finally gotten home. She doesn't like the humor.
Yeah, it'd probably be too illogical for her. There'd be too many plot points that didn't gel, right? That didn't fit, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you got to find something. Guess. I remember when I went back and binged Eureka and really loved it and had a good time. For the most part, I mean, it's got its. I thought because of all the really incredible, crazy science fiction concepts and stuff in it, that she would get into it. And this was before I knew her quite as well, just a year or two back now. I did not think of one thing that I learned later, because this is before we got into heavy reviewing like Deep Space Nine and Voyager now with all and the way because before that I didn't know she felt so strongly about romance crap in her Star Trek or whatever. Because in any of the soap opera stuff, because Eureka has all that romance and all that relationship stuff, but it has great science fiction stories and great characters. But I didn't realize that was the case. So I knew that if I'd known that, I never would have recommended it to her. Now she liked Farscape.
Yeah, well, that's more hard sci-fi, though. I think
that's more action. It's an action adventure sci-fi too, though. But even there is there's a romance going on with John Crichton and what's her name?
But it's not overwhelming.
Aaron's son, but yeah, she probably doesn't like that stuff too much. But yeah, but to have a lot of it in Eureka, so she didn't get. And it's a good show. I think it's cool. Where else? 14 doesn't have as much of that kind of stuff, but I should have realized that's full of soap opera stuff. Wouldn't bother you or me, but yeah.
No. But you just can't have any of that.
But it's realistic, for God's sake.
Well, especially if you're on a ship together too, you're gonna.
In this case, they're in a town together, but yeah.
Yeah, or you're going to end up, especially like we talk about Voyager, man. If you know you're stuck for the rest of your life on the ship, you're going to try to ship with someone, right? I mean,
right.
Maybe you're not supposed to, date in Starfleet. I don't know what the rules are, but maybe you're supposed to avoid it. Who knows? But heck, if I know, I mean, I'm not going to, wait. I'm going to make my moves, I guess, right? I mean. You're not going. It's not a normal situation, right? Where you're going to be back to port soon. So, but yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
That way she and I love it. I love her take on things. But
it's hilarious. I love it. This makes me laugh.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes there, dude.
Yeah.
So, yep, raspberries incoming. Yes. What do you mean? You mean like this? Where is it? Where is it? This one.
Cass, Super Cass.
The time scales. Hey there.
Hell,
Greets from San Francisco. Oh,
awesome.
are you a 49ers fan or not a sports ball fan at all? Because if you are, I see that Mikey Susfor is a 49ers fan wishing for his team to do well. Well, good luck. But Don, on the other hand, and Sci-Fi Mumby, they're Chiefs fans. But good luck to you all. When you don't have a dog in the race, you just kind of wish them all luck. But,
Yep.
I kind of like the Brock Purdy story, even though I don't.
Oh, that's a great story.
I hate no offense, but since the 49ers used to beat us up all the time in the 70s and 80s, I hated them, but still. Go 49ers, says Mikey. So there you go.
Steve Young's from my hometown. So
there you go.
Steve Young Stadium. Yep. So yeah, we as much as I'm a Giants fan, well, I was rooting for those 49er teams as long as they weren't playing the Giants.
Go 49ers and Taylor Swift.
Well, yeah, if you got a guy that was your high school quarterback, I mean, you're gonna root for him in the Super Bowl, right?
Well, so Tom, you can't root for the time scales. You can't root for the 49ers and Taylor Swift. What? That can't happen. What do you mean? I mean, Taylor Swift is rooting against your 49ers. Unless she gets pissed off at Travis Kelce this week and roots for
the Taylor Jinx, maybe.
Yeah, but Don, I'm gonna have to all right, Don, dude, you've earned this. Let's see, where is it? Oh, there we go.
Personal foul, crackback, 85, offense, 15-yard penalty.
Calling a penalty on Don. I can't do this anymore. Because Don, you cannot root for a team that was once in your division. The Chiefs, technically, they're not your division anymore because they're in the NFC, but they were in the Chiefs. They were in the Seahawks division in the AFC West for many years. Therefore, you must hate them. I'm just kidding, Don. Technically, they're not. Technically, they're not in there anymore. So I guess you're okay to root for them. I just realized, but I remember when the Chiefs and Seahawks were in the same division many, many years ago, but you got to be old to remember that anyway. They were, the Seahawks started off in the NFC West for first year of their existence. Then they were in the AFC West for 30-something years, whatever. Then they just recently, then about now for the past, I don't know. Well, it's been 20-something years since they moved to the NFC, right? That's been a while. I forgot it's been a long time since they moved to the NFC. When you're old, things just, fall down that way. But they remember they were in the AFC West. You remember that, I hope.
Oh, I probably do, but I'm not off the top of my head like you with your great memory.
I love Super Bowl week. I know I'm not supposed to sports ball everyone. I apologize, but
I'm going to throw a penalty flag on you.
I love Super Bowl history. And
it's like comic book history. Yeah.
You're right. I deserve it.
Personal foul, crackback, 85, offense, 15-yard penalty.
Still rooting for the San Diego Chargers and the Oakland Raiders. Exactly, times. But I
still call them the Oakland Raiders.
Sometimes I like to play stupid Super Bowl trivia games inside my head to test myself. For example, one I do is I can name the number of each quarterback in each Super Bowl and who won it. Like, for example, let's say this Super Bowl, for example, is going to have Brock Purdy, who wears number 13, and has Patrick Mahomes, who wears number 15, right? Let's say Brock Purdy wins the game. Question would be, when I would get to a Super Bowl, I start at 1 and work my way up. It would be like, and when it got to this one, for example, the answer would be number 13 beat number 15. That's how I would do it. And today I got bored on a ride, and I did that with every Super Bowl up to now.
Oh, no.
And I can do it with every Super Bowl. Is that pathetic or what?
That is.
I tell you the number of any. You name the Super Bowl. Now, if you say the number, I need to know who played in it because sometimes I can't remember the exact number. If you name a Super Bowl, I tell you the numbers of the quarterbacks that played in it and who won. Is that normal? Which number won?
Normal. No, it's not.
Sounds normal to me.
No,
I could just tell you the names of them either way. But anyone could do that, right?
no.
I see. Rest in peace, Keith. Yeah, rest in peace, Toby Keith. It's a damn shame. The man was a patriot. Yeah, not an New England one either. What's that? You think it's an abnormal?
Yes, you're abnormal.
I mean, well, anyone could but most. If you think about it, most football fans who know a little football can do it, though. Is it that crazy? Really?
That's impressive. Yeah, that's impressive.
It's not impressive.
Yeah.
It's stupid. I mean, it sounds dumb, but yeah. First Super Bowl KC won once Lynn Dawson played QB 1970. That's true. He wore number 16. And he's in the Hall of Fame. Lenny Dawson, baby. So I'm not going to do it. Don't worry, everyone. But I'm saying I did it. I was like, wow. Now, the only problem I had was I might like after I got through, I forgot one or two and had to go back and fill in the blank. Like it just started in my mind, like, oh, I forgot a Super Bowl. I left one out. Because, sometimes I'll forget one. But for the most part, I can tell you who played in every Super Bowl, the quarterbacks that won them. Nothing like numbers so much. Like final scores are a little more fuzzy. I'm bad with numbers, as you know. Roger Staubach was Superman. No, they called him Captain America, but he was both.
Yeah, he was in the armed forces. Yep. He had to put off his career from the Naval Academy to serve in Vietnam. I think 4 years he was
5 years. He waited.
5 years.
He was drafted and waited 5 years. He won a Heisman. Time scales, that's right. Roger Staubach threw the Hail Mary. In 1975, the Cowboys defeated the Vikings at Minnesota and he hit Drew Pearson. And some people think Drew Pearson should have been called for offensive pass interference. I don't think so. But they didn't have instant replay. Kenny Saber was Wolverine then.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, I didn't think it was. Now you made me sound. Now I feel really weird about it because I did that today and I was like, "Is that weird?" It can't be weird. It's just weird because I just watched I watch the highlights a lot. That's all. But now I don't have the NFL Network anymore, so I can't watch them. I have to go watch them on YouTube and stuff. That's another thing. The week leading up to the Super Bowl just doesn't feel right if I don't watch the Super Bowl highlights.
You know what I do? I have, being a Giants fan, I have some of the DVDs from their seasons too.
Oh yeah.
Super Bowl, and
nice.
And Eli Manning was hysterical if you saw him doing that rap video, and he's like, "What was the line? What's his name is the the greatest of all time, but I beat him twice."
Yeah.
Tom Brady's the greatest of all time.
Eli Manning beat him twice, baby.
Yeah.
You know who else beat him? Nick Foles beat him. So.
Right. Yeah. You can imagine how Tom Brady's career would have gone, or how it would have been. They should have lost that Super Bowl against or they would have lost. They lost the Super Bowl against the Giants, and the last. What was the last minute interception on the goal line? Was that the Falcons or the? Well, they should have lost to the Falcons.
No, it's the Seahawks.
The Eagles, the Seahawks, yeah. And then they didn't go for the that interception, so he would have ended up losing. Would have been 3 Super Bowls in a row or 2? Some of those Super Bowls flipped. I mean, and then say they'd beaten the Giants, right? I mean, the Giants beat him, but he could have ended up becoming a bust in the big game. They got pretty damn lucky on those plays.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes luck, though, right?
Yep. Well, D-Bud he hasn't watched Super Bowl in 5 years. I haven't watched one Super Bowl. I've only watched one Super Bowl in the last 5 years, he says. Even in my couple of years when I've really been sick and pissed off at the game for the past few years, I'll still watch the Super Bowl. I can't help it, but it still feels like a holiday to me. A decade since my Seahawks first ever Super Bowl victory. Good times. Yeah. When they destroyed the Broncos, number 3 beat number 18 in that one. And yes, of course I know the names, but I thought it's more obscure to do the numbers,
Yep.
Yep. There was a Super Bowl where number 8 beat a number 5. I'm pretty sure numerology is weird. There's some numerology going on with all these numbers. What if you think if I gave all these numbers to a numerologist, it would be weird? Weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
Play the lottery. Yeah.
Yeah. I do. I do play the lottery.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Yeah. So I don't know. I do love this week. I used to anyway. Now it's not that big of a deal. I'm so, no offense to my Chiefs and 49ers friends out there, but I really wanted my buddy JT Kirk's Lions to get in that thing. That'd have been so cool.
It would have been cool. Yep.
But they had to screw it up. Screwheads. Dan Campbell, what's wrong with you?
Good. Yeah.
Oh, why did you do that, man? Huh. Choke. Oh, man. So there's 58 freaking Super Bowls. Wow. We're about to be 58. It's crazy. I'm older than the Super Bowl. Holy shit, I just realized. I'm way older than the Super Bowl. Or a bit older. I should be, wait a minute, the math doesn't add up. I should be, I guess it kind of makes sense. Yeah, it works. Yeah. I'm not a football fan, so I'm the one of those people. Ezra Goldstein, shalom, by the way. Basidim says I'm one of those people who will watch it for the commercials, not recently. Don't get me started. Yeah. My opinion, the last great Super Bowl commercial was the Bud Light in 2015. I don't really remember that one. We were talking earlier about the on Dadman's channel about commercials, and I was thinking of that one with Paul Harvey about farmers. Yeah, I miss Paul Harvey today, and that's now you know the rest of the story. Paul Harvey was a great fan.
Oh, he was so good. Yeah.
You know what I miss about Super Bowl halftime? This is a long time ago now. The Bud Bowl was funny. Remember the Bud?
Yeah, Bud Bowl. Yeah.
Not just JT Kurt. What's up, buddy? Not just the Bud Bowl, but remember the when Beavis and for a while, for a couple years, Beavis and Butthead would have Super Bowl specials at halftime. And in color.
They try to get you change channels. That Living Color had that special show during the halftime, and because the halftime show used to be pretty lame, and the Super Bowl, I mean, at one point it was just a marching band, right? So,
and now they do their own, so they don't let. Yeah, that's true. Ezra Goldstein, yes, I did hear about the passing of the great Michael Jaston, who, of course, was a Doctor Who actor who played the Valeyard, whale yard, boat yard, knacker's yard, graveyard, as the doctor called him. Yep, Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. Let's do it when every day in pea soup, grilled chicken sandwiches. Yeah, man, Paul Harvey was fantastic.
Americana.
Yeah, absolutely. The 49ers would join the Pittsburgh Squealers and the New England Patriots atop the old-time Super Bowl standings. Squealers are 6-2, true. Patriots are 6-5. Waggle and the 49ers are 5-2. Wow, it's true. Holy crap, they're 5-2. They have a chance to be 6-2, and the Cowgirls are 5-3. Cowgirls will never get another one. Yep, rest in peace, Michael Jaston. He was an excellent actor. Yeah. The Valeyard. Thank you, Time Scales. I appreciate that. It's good to see you. Thank you. What's that? Another YT Bud Light commercial. remember the Clydesdales?
Yeah, the Clydesdales. Yeah, they still have the Clydesdales, don't they?
Yeah. Lions are undefeated in the Super Bowl. That's one way to look at it. Superman should be in the Super Bowl. Since we were talking about Superman, right?
Right.
Sports ball trying to learn you against Murber. Well, I'm not sure what you mean. Michael Jaston was very kind to fans. So many people have met him. Yeah. Oh, cool. I did not know that. That's great to know, though. Yeah, he was great as the Valeyard. For those who don't remember, Colin Baker's second season, Trial of a Time Lord. Ezra Goldstein, have you heard about the Vince McMahon ex-trafficking scam? I've not heard. I've heard a little stuff about it, but that's not something I would venture into here.
Yeah, it doesn't sound so good, but yeah, it's not really something. Probably.
I mean, Is that new? I mean, was this something?
Well, I mean, there's been
week?
rumors about McMahon for a while, but then some even worse stuff came out. I won't say it so it doesn't mess up our algorithm here. But
Yeah, I can't really. Not something I
no,
would
it's
talk about
okay.
here.
It's
No,
okay,
yeah,
but-
no, I wouldn't
yeah.
want to. I wouldn't get into it here anyway. But no. So Ezra, I've heard some only bits and pieces about something happened last week, but since I'm spectacularly disinterested in wrestling, I didn't pay much attention to it. Never been a Vince McMahon fan myself, so I got to say I didn't follow it closely enough.
Well, yeah, but there's a lot of comic book fans are huge wrestling fans. Like I grew up loving wrestling, and I've
Yeah,
actually
a lot
gotten
of
to
people
meet
are, yeah.
Vince McMahon and some wrestlers of
Yeah, a lot of people
'cause
like
they're
it. It's
around
just not my bag.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's not your bag, but yeah, it seems like there's an interconnect there between wrestlers and comic
Yeah.
books. It's
There is.
there's a lot of overlap there in being fans of people being fans of both. So, but yeah, it's to get your day in court, but it doesn't. All this evidence that's coming out, it doesn't look so good. Yep.
Gotcha. No, yeah, it's not something we would cover here anyway. But thank you though, Ezra, for the question. Though, appreciate it. So, Steven says, just in case you were curious, I was referring to the Super Bowl commercial where the guy got to run around in a real life recreation of the Pac-Man maze for a Bud Light Ghost and all. Not sure if I remember that one. Do you?
I'm trying to remember. I think I do actually.
It's not
I think
ringing
that
a
does
bell
ring
for me.
No, I think I remember.
I'm
that,
sure I've
yeah.
seen it. But
And remember the Powder Puff Bowl they had too. There's
not
all
really.
kinds of gimmicks. Yeah, they would have during the halftime. They would change the channel. You could watch. It was ladies in lingerie playing football, flag football.
Oh, that I remember then. I remember.
Yeah.
yeah. Lingerie football.
I'm like, how could you not remember
The
that?
lingerie. I didn't forgot it was called that, but I remember lingerie.
It's the
football.
lingerie bowl. Yeah, lingerie bowl.
Ah,
Yeah, they use like
it was probably a better game than whatever Super Bowl that was.
switch the channel. They wanted you to switch switch the channel. Yeah.
Most Super Bowls were blowouts in the early days. The AFC championship games were usually pretty good, and then the first two Super Bowls were blowouts. The third one was not much of a competitive game. I mean, it was, again, I've seen them all so many times. A third one, because of the legendary guarantee by Joe Namath, but it was a pretty tough defensive struggle, but it was not much of a game. Fourth one, was actually a pretty interesting game. Chiefs Vikings, but fifth one was one of the sloppiest games ever played. Cowboys Colts, that had to be won with field goals. It just was like a lot of terrible plays. Then you had blowout after blowout after blowout for the most part. Really, you didn't have a fairly competitive Super Bowl until the second. I mean, the first Squealers Cowgirls game was pretty competitive, but Wes Cagle, what's up? Then the second Steelers Cowboys game, it was competitive, and actually Steelers Rams was competitive. Then you started getting more blowouts. Actually, the first both 49ers Bengals games back then were competitive, but most of them at that point were blowout after blowout after blowout. The majority of them.
Oh, a lot of blowouts. I remember it was Frisco was in the Super Bowl in the 90s, and we're coming back from a ski trip trying to get back
with the Broncos. Yeah,
was it against the Broncos? And by the time we got into the house, I think it was like 21-0 or whatever it was.
They beat them 55-10 right here in New Orleans.
Yeah,
Montana threw 5 touchdown passes.
Yeah, we're like the game's over before we got it, because you got to enjoy it. It's like crud.
Ezra, that's kind of thing I kind of steer clear of. Also, the EBS, EJ, controversy. What do I think? I think it's a damn shame. Is what I think. That controversy you're asking about. I think it's a shame. I wish, I would just say that I do have my opinions that go one way on the thing. I don't really want to get into it here. I'd just say that both of those gentlemen have a lot of fans that were both fans of both of them. And they caused a lot of polarization. And some of them who wanted to remain fans of both are having a tough time of it. And they wish they would just kind of leave each other, but one of them insists on persisting, going after the other one, whereas the other one is content to leave the other one alone, and so one is, I think, making a lot of trouble with it, and it's a shame. I won't go into taking any kind of sides or anything like that, but it boils down to, Ezra, that it's a tragedy. It's sad that that they can't just either get along and go to neutral corners, but one seems to want to just forget about it and not talk to the other. But that there's one of them who won't stop, and it's a shame. And I think the one who won't stop is in the wrong personally, but I won't go much farther than that because, like I said, I don't get embroiled in any of that stuff that goes on the other channels. I've watched both gentlemen's channels, and I don't really buy any of their comics because I just I'm not really into really expensive comics. I mean, I don't spend that kind of money even if I could afford it. It's just just not me personally, but a lot of my friends back the projects of both of those creators and enjoy them, which I think is great. But that's about all I can really say on it.
Yeah, because I saw there was someone was attacking so and so, and I'm like, well, why would is that really that person attacking that other person? And excuse me, I had to cough, but I was kind of shocked by it. And
hey, Blunt,
yeah, I don't want.
Good.
But yeah, it's just not worth getting in the middle of that.
Yeah.
Or I don't even know whose side to take on this one, but
I mean, I have definitely feelings one way on one side. I'm not going to lie to you, Ezra, and say, hey, Blunt Plunk Reviews, good to see you, buddy. Thank you for those kind words. I'm not going to lie to you all and pretend that I don't have views that may skew towards one of the two in the fight, but it doesn't do me any good to take a side here because I'm not privy to everything that went on between the two. So, and I'm not even trying to be diplomatic, all just the fact that I just think it's a shame that they let it get the better of them. And the one who is going after the other one the most, I think, shouldn't do it. But other than that, I just I don't like it. Like you said, Plunk. I don't like drama. I just don't like drama. So I appreciate you asking both two tough questions there, Ezra, and Shalom. But I'm sorry if I didn't give satisfactory answers. But but I've tried. So
yeah, because it's a lose-lose to not that you wouldn't take a side but I mean, it's just not to get involved in that kind of thing. It's more interesting to discuss, in my view, what's happening in the comic book world in terms of stories or storylines, or was Superman really time traveling, or what really happened versus the drama, quote unquote drama, or what's going on between two creators. I just want to read their works or see their works, and really don't want to have this as a distraction going on behind the scenes. But the sad thing, like you said too, you've got people that are fans of both or maybe like both, and you've got to now, what are you supposed to pick a side, or you can't support the other one's work? Or I mean, for example, I love Spinal Tap, and some of Meathead's movies are my favorite movies, The Princess Bride or The Sure Thing. And John Cusack has gone off the rails. It's like, do I not watch that stuff or enjoy it? But then again, if someone does really piss you off that much, you have a right to say, that's it, I'm not supporting him anremour. Of course, back in the day when those movies came out, you had no idea what I mean, I assume Rob Reiner was quote unquote, left leaning, from his what you'd read, but it wasn't like you could have direct interaction with your creators like you can now with Twitter and social media. So yeah, sometimes it's just I just wish I didn't know. Or that's why I love Shatner's so much, because he won't endorse anyone. He won't get into those phrases. He's not afraid to kick people when he gets attacked, but he just doesn't play that political game or that pontification game. Just looking for validation or reaction on that front. So yeah, it's a shame that that happened between those two creators.
Well, Steven says, well, I agree with you, Clubby. It's a shame since I'm a fan of and respect them both as well. Hopefully it'll be over sooner rather than later. Thing is, one of them doesn't seem to be content with it ever being over. And I'm not going to come out and say, I think that one should cut it out. But thank you, Ezra. I appreciate that. But he won't. It doesn't look like it. And he's having fun. He says he is. So One of them is taking some joy in this. The other one is not into it. But on the note of comic books, I just picked up Ghost Machine from Image today. So far, it's promising. I think that's Jeff Johns' book. I believe. Blunt Plunt Reviews. I believe that's the Johns book, huh? Putin's cat says, Mark D. Able to see if you've seen Shatner with Next Gen Cast at conventions. Those are hilarious. Have you?
No, I haven't seen. I haven't been to one with him there, but I can imagine he's. When you see him speak, he's fantastic, and he doesn't give any Paramount any. He doesn't care about Paramount anymore. He's so pissed at him not, but in a good way. Talking about him not being in the poster, and he's a classy guy too, because the kid playing Captain Kirk, not Captain Kirk on Strange New Worms.
Yeah, he's like 40.
Oh, he's 40. He looks young, but yeah, Shatner said, "Well, congratulations to him." Right? He's he's not insecure in himself. So what people were knocking the actor, and he's what, and I just like that about a guy like that. He's not not getting into that knockdown or personal insults. Why should he insult the actor that's playing Kurt? What good does it do at this point, right? His legacy stays confident with his legacy, and what he is one of the main reasons why Star Trek is so damn popular.
Yeah, absolutely. So Larry says 99.999% of Hollywood is left leaning. That's for sure.
I think you could be closer to 100%, Larry. Maybe
I don't think so. You're gonna have to allow some percentage points because there's some that aren't. Speaking of Superman, Dean Kane's one of them. He's going to be on Friday Night Tights this week. Did you know that? It's pretty cool.
No, cool.
Yeah.
Wasn't he just on? What show was he just on? Tom was on with him, I thought. And
I don't know.
What show was Dean Kane on?
I don't know.
One of our friends on YouTube. I can't remember what channel it was, but I think Tom was there with Dean. Yep. I don't know if it was Midnight's Edge or if it was.
Don't know.
Something else. Yep. My memory sucks. Sorry.
What about the Phantom Zone? Isn't that kind of time static area for the three Kryptonian criminals? But not just the three, and a lot of Kryptonian criminals. And yes, time. I mean, you don't age in there or anything. It's like it's an immaterial void that you're like for all practical intents and purposes, you're kind of like a ghost in a sense. You're in sort of a null thing because Monel, for example, spent 1,000 years in the Phantom Zone until they were finally able to find the cure for his lead poisoning, and the Legion, Brainiac 5 was able to revive him. So he had no choice but to, go into the Phantom Zone until because he was dying. So Superboy put him in the Phantom Zone, and he came out 1,000 years later when they could finally cure it. So it is sort of timeless, yes. Anyway. Oh boy. So what else is going on out there, folks? Before we get out of here.
Well, I could do some. Oh, sorry. Yes, I do have some enabling I can do, or mild.
We can do that.
It's Star Trek related.
If you got any on you, did you want to do it tonight or tomorrow night?
Well, I'll do it. Well, I could do it both, but this will just take a couple of minutes. So
that's fine.
Famous last words, but I'll show you what I use some of my fantasy football earnings to purchase a few things.
Mark D said, he was on Yellow Flash this live. That's right.
Yellow Flash. Thank you.
I heard about that. Thanks, Monel. Thanks, Steven. Called you Monel. You were Monel instead of Steven M. Now you're Superman. That's right. Yeah, John's is on it. Great machine. Ghost machine thingy. They're booting up at Image. Might cover it from perspective. I might cover it from perspective of how to build a universe, whether it's good or bad. Oh, okay, there you go. Blunt reviews, excellent.
So this is unfortunately sold out, but I'd shown this on the Clubhouse a while ago.
Well, number one would like that.
Yeah, she went nuts over it. I think it's about $70 with shipping. It's sold out now, unfortunately, unless if it.
You showed it on the Clubhouse already.
I did show this. Well, I'm just showing this is from the same company, so this isn't the same artist. So this is a rework of the motion picture. I still think they should have Kirk, Spock, and McCoy. But I like this take though. I do like this take. It's pretty captures that going into the unknown with Ilea there, the Ilea probe, and the Japanese version is very cool too. So I did not buy that one, although I would have liked to have bought. So it's sold out, but just it's vicepress.com if anyone wants to check out their website. And then this I just got in the mail the other day. And let me tell you, this poster is the thickest poster I've ever seen. It's almost like cardboard. How the quality of this. So I just got it, and
wow,
it's just
where are you gonna put that?
I don't know. I gotta maybe take down one of my other Star Trek posters. I did already take one down because I'm very limited on my wall space.
Well, yeah, you think?
I have my side entrance is actually filled with Star Trek posters. And hopefully we might redo the house someday, and then I'll lose that entrance. I'll be crying. But then I won't be able to keep the Star Trek posters up. God bless my better half. But this is just, I have to have everything Wrath of Khan if possible. So I just love this. I don't know what you guys think, but I think this is a damn cool poster. With, cool. Khan reaching out in the coldness of space. So I just got that in the mail, and they only made 175 of them. I'm lucky enough to get one, and it's thick. I got it measured. It's like it's not an eighth of an inch thick, but it's 280 GSM, what that translates to in English, but it's heavy paper. You know how posters always crinkle up, and then they get you get the ridge in the, when you open a poster the wrong way and you get that crinkle in it, and you're like, no, this thing is so thick, I don't think you could. And they packed it beautifully too. And I just bought this the other day, yesterday actually, just sold out.
Nice.
And I did post it on my Patreon and Twitter. I tweeted it out yesterday. They remastered Bob Peak's original artwork. So they said, we've aimed to create the most definitive picture version of the motion picture, the most movie poster for Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan ever produced. So it closed yet, or I guess it's sold out, and it's that same heavy duty paper. It's obviously registered. So it is the same poster, but it's just I guess an updated version on that extreme high quality paper. So I'm gonna have to get that sucker framed. But it's a classic poster. But I almost, should I buy it? And they had a foil version too that sold out.
Nice.
And I didn't get grab that, unfortunately, or that was sold out. But it's I was just happy to be able to snag that, and thankfully winning the fantasy football team, so I had some PayPal money that's in my earnings there, my winnings. So I'm like, why not? All right, that's what that kind of money is. It's to splurge. It's not something you need every day, and it's like, I should put it. All right, something.
The time scales. Good night, buddy. Sorry.
Good night. No,
and thanks for being here. Good luck to your team. Good luck, 49ers. Sorry, continue.
No, I was just saying, yeah, sometimes, you're like, darn, I should get something practical, or, get something for the house, but, fix something that's broken, but screw it. So, and now this is, I think this poster is for sale now. This Wrath of Khan poster I just got, I found it. They had a link to this website. It looks like it's still available. So I don't know if it's the same exact version of the one I got, but they had linked it. So I don't know what the shipping is here. But if anyone wants this post, let me put this in the chat here. So it looks like this one that I just got in the mail, and I got it from England, is available right now. So let me put that link in. So I guess it's an American My Shopify, I guess so. Not sure if it's where it's shipping from, but it's damn cool. So I recommend it. Yeah.
There you go.
Very good stuff. Yeah.
Very cool. So, I love it. That's amazing stuff there, bro.
So I'll show that. I guess tomorrow night.
That stuff. When you ever get it hung up, you're gonna have to take a picture.
Well, I could put it up at work too. I guess I could put it I guess I could put it in my office. Probably what's I'll end up doing is because I have some.
Yeah, you got some space over there.
Got some space over there too at work. Yeah, in my office, so I could do that. Yeah.
There'll be a
Why not?
pregame live stream for Super Bowl 5 on our channel. Hey, Mikey Sue's, get your give us your channel so we could tell us what it is, so we could put a link up if you're still here. Let's see. It may have bugged out already, but if you didn't, because I don't know what your channel is, and we would definitely like to plug it. Then I'm sure I'll be gone. I'll be out on the road watching it at somewhere else, the show. But I mean,
That's on
the Super Bowl. But yeah. So.
Oh, that's the day before though. He's talking day before. Yep. Super Bowl
Pregame
Sunday.
channel, live stream.
He said Saturday, I think, right?
On Super Bowl. Live stream Super Bowl on the channel Saturday. Yeah. But still, I don't know your channel.
Or maybe one of the. I think if you just click on their name in the.
You're in trouble for some enabling.
If I get this, I'm sending the bill.
Yeah, well, you should. It's his fault if you buy it. For some reason, I don't know why.
Mark. Yep.
So what you're trying to say, Kal-El?
D-Bud got it. Thank you, D-Bud. Yep.
Oh, thanks, D-Bud. Cool. So what you're basically trying to say, D-Bud, is, we're trying to say, Kal-El, that if you do in fact buy it, you're going to say,
God damn it, Mark.
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Well, that's cool.
At least you end up with a really cool poster, so it's worth it.
Thanks, D-Bud. Let me see if I can let me make sure I follow it. I have subscribed. Let's go. Everyone, if you haven't yet, and I don't, let me subscribe to Mikey's channel. Please go and get him some subs.
Let me check.
I didn't, but now I do. I didn't know. Okay. Well, Mikey, if you're still hearing it, then you've got a sub from me at least. There you go. There you go.
There we go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, yeah, he is a black cat too. Yes, he's a black cat. Yeah. Yeah.
From Cat's Paw?
Yeah. Yep. That was quite a good looking cat, though. Also from Assignment Earth. Even better looking. The one from Cat's Paw was good. But Sylvia. But the one from Assignment Earth, ISIS. Mm-hmm.
I love Terry Garr's look at that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
All that confused look. Yeah.
They spent $325 million on the Killing Justice League, and now that won't sell. Good. What a stupid idea for a game. I'll tell you something. Even if they didn't have that stupid crap, of course not. They say it's glitchy anyway, but even if they didn't, let's just say they didn't have all that horrible, disgusting crap where they shoot Batman and kill Flash and piss on him and all this stuff that they have, because it's in there. They killed the Justice League. The very idea of calling something Kill the Justice League is disgusting. And screw the self-delete squad. I hate them anyway. They're crap. They don't need movies and comics of those idiot, shitty comics, but but if you're going to have them, fine. They're not to have them kill the Justice League. It's just more Hollywood, and not just Hollywood. This isn't Hollywood, it's a video game, but more of modern culture's just, obvious outward distaste for decency, for heroism, showing disrespect for heroes. They don't respect heroes. They don't believe in heroism. They don't love heroes. They just want to shite all over them, literally and figuratively in this case.
So how much did they spend on the game? $350 million? Wow.
$325 million. That's crazy. I hear you. No, that's
make
okay.
More money than movies now. So
thanks, Steven. You can ask anything, but this, but you're right about getting my blood up. It pisses me off. But not, I saw the scene where they did the Batman. That was disgusting. But let's face it, anything beyond the title, if your video game is about these punk ass bitch self-delete squad killing the Justice League, right there, it's who cares what they do? It's already disgusting. Why would you make a game called that SS kills the Justice League? Who wants to see that? Who goes, there's a good idea for a video game? Go screw.
Right?
What they did to Batman was bad, but what they did to Flash was way worse, in my opinion. Well, I hear you. But it's all bad. The whole point of it, and they had evil Superman again. They killed Wonder Woman, but they killed everybody. Killing the Justice League, I mean, there's some kind of sickness. And that's big cultural rot. That's cultural sickness that's been in for a while. And the fact that DC Comics, Warner allowed this. Those idiots at whatever, what is it, Rocksteady, whoever the idiots who made the video game, forgot the name of them, but whoever made the video game, they made the Arkham Asylum game. Some of those are pretty good. Some of those Arkham games are pretty good. Whoever made that, they couldn't do it without DC letting them do it. So DC, piece of filth comics, and Warner, piece of filth brothers, decided they would try to market a product about killing the Justice League. I don't care if it's the freaking Shit-a-Slide Squad or anybody else. They should not have anything to do. No video game should be about killing the Justice League.
It's just shock value crap, right? I mean,
of course, Clob's been meaning to ask. King Shark putting on a Green Lantern ring. Oh my God! Yeah, I saw that. Would be actually able to? No, exactly. A Green Lantern ring would not allow King Shark to wear it. No.
Yeah.
So idiots never read a comic who made this piece of shit game. I mean, it makes me sick, and I'm sick not just because of the idiots what they do in the game, like stupid shit like that, blunt, but also the fact that remember, bear in mind, keep reminding yourself, keep hammering it home that DC Comics and Warner Brothers let them do this. They allowed it. They signed off. They were fine with it. So, yeah, the idiots who made the game, they're a bunch of shitheads, okay? Yeah, that's a day ending in Y with video games and movies and TV. These filthy scum at DC and Warner allowed this to happen. Because someone at some point pitched the idea, right? I assume. Hey, we got, Arkham game, so we're going to do this video game. Yeah, what is it? Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. Well,
they're using their IP. They've got to get approval.
Any decency automatically goes, well, no, what else you got? We're not selling that. You're stupid. You can't do it. You're fired for even. In fact, I don't want you even anywhere. Throw them out of the building. Anyone with any decency should get thrown out of the building. Tell us how you really feel. As soon as you come up with an original joke, I will. But
yeah, I mean, it's like a horror fetish thing where you got to kill off your favorite characters. Remember when they killed off? Was it the Dr. Light killed off the Atom and had that the what was that a few years ago, and the raping of one of the characters and
Identity Crisis. It was a piece
Identity
of
Crisis. Thank you.
So by the way, you're right. I should backtrack a little bit. DC's been doing indecent things to these characters forever, so it's not like this is their first rodeo. But it's a video game, though. It's not even in a comic book.
Video games have more reach than comics now. I mean,
exactly.
So,
and you think this was the same studio who made the awesome Arkham Asylum game too? Yeah, it really is a shame, but not surprising. No, not surprising. And I like those Arkham Asylum games that I have. They're pretty cool. Yeah, they're losing Doctor Who money. Did you all hear about that? Speaking of Doctor Who, Ezra, if you're still there, or Congo, they made somebody made like a fan type trailer or something, had Leela and Daleks or whatever, like a Doctor Who fan thing or whatever. I think I didn't see it yet, I hear it got more likes than the stupid Shooty Gatwa stuff, trailers and shit.
And of course, they've already shaken up the cast on that show too. But
yeah, yep, the Doctor Who's destroyed as well. But yeah, I'm just saying, that's what gets me the most. There are a lot of sickos in the world that will, if you let them get a hold of your characters, that will do nasty things to them. But DC is, I mean, it's been done it to their own characters with their own. I say their own. They're a vampiric company. They're not really DC's characters. Just happen to unfortunately own them. Warner owns them or whatever. But some dickhead signed off on this and said, "Yeah, go do that," because some people are really going to buy that, and people are going to buy that video game. Justice League gets killed by a bunch of the Pua Squad. Putin's cat says Star Wars killed its trilogy. Also said, I liked Strangled Nude Worms Season 2. Well, somebody had to like it. Putin, it may as well have been you. Screw that show. Strangled Nude Worms is garbaggio.
I hate what they did to the Gorn.
Yeah, everything they did was crap, but yeah. Identity Crisis was vile. Agreed. Brad Meltzer's a jackass. RTNZ says, honestly, why not do Self-Delete Squad versus the Crime Syndicate? If you want an evil JLA, there's a recent obsession with making the heroes bad or weak or unlikable. It's just sad. That's very true. They don't like heroes. It's not Star Trek. Strangled Worms is filth. The worst thing about this is that this is one of the last times that Kevin Conroy voiced Batman. Yeah. What a way to trash his character in Legacy. Yeah, look, but he did voice that scene, though, which makes me look. I love Kevin Conroy, and he was just doing what he was told. He was hired.
Yeah.
But I tell you, if he were still with us, I'd be interested in asking him about that. I mean, maybe he did it and said, maybe he knew he was already not going to be around. And he said, well,
plus as an actor, sometimes you think you can get it done in terms of the role and, or change it or, of course, when they had that Crisis on Infinite Earths, and he was on live TV, finally getting to play Batman, basically Batman Beyond. And, they ended up being an evil Batman. It's like, why did they do that to Kevin Conroy? It's like,
it's a shame. Yeah, it's awful. I didn't watch it, fortunately. Ezra says, speaking of Doctor Who, have you heard that in Shooty's first season has been delayed due to special effects issues, apparently? I have not heard that. That's pretty funny, though.
Yeah, show's going to end up being a disaster.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, well. Let's say we start letting people out of here. It's been a couple hours that we've been here tonight and talked a little soups. It's a wild card Wednesday night, but we talked a little bit of Superman. And, of course, again, coming up this week, folks, of course, it's still Superman month, even when the show isn't Superman, but we're going to have a lot of Superman coverage. Tomorrow night will be we'll do that show notes in a second. What do you got going on? Tell everybody.
Well, I'm going to try to do a special Sunday Night Geekery before Sunday, I think, if I have a chance. Maybe I'll do like early Friday afternoon or maybe Saturday afternoon. I got to do something. I'm going to get my tailgating stuff in and talk about some Super Bowl stuff before the game. And then Sunday Night Geekery, what time's this game usually over? Like 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock my time?
Well, it's 6. It starts at 6:30 your time. Good night, Blunt. Thanks for being here, buddy.
Blunt.
It starts at 6:30 your time, so you're looking at
probably 11 o'clock. I'm thinking it's usually.
Yeah. Did you want to stop? You want to go on later?
Well, I'll have to go on later. So stay tuned.
I'll have to drive home, but when I get home, I'll join you if you do it. So.
Yeah, so I'll do a later one. And my wife is away this weekend at a pickleball tournament and girls getaway. So I got the whole weekend to myself. So I can maybe do some streaming on Saturday too. We'll see. But so I'm gonna make my chili, and it'd be fun to just show some fun tailgating recipes, because we always end up doing some Sunday night foodery. So stay posted, and of course we'll be on the clubhouse tomorrow night. So at least my voice is holding out, it seems. So
that's good.
Yeah,
that's good. Thank you, Congo. It was very nice of you to say that. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, it was fun hanging out with you tonight. And we're on Loki's earlier, so and of course Dadman's show, where I was hanging out in the chat there. So yeah, it's been a busy YouTube.
A lot of
night,
streaming
right?
tonight. Yeah, streamed three started streaming at about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock my time, and it's 11 o'clock now. 3 different shows. So yeah, but that's what we're here for. We can handle it. First world problems, like they say.
Yep, and you cross the streams,
cross the streams big time. But it's not a chore, because I'm hanging out with you, my good friend.
Yeah, it's having fun. Yeah, so it's not like
you and no, it's not a chore. It's doing here and having some great fun stuff. So there you go. And I'll do some show notes, then some shouty outies. But it's stuff, of course, again, tomorrow night, everybody, the clubhouse is back. It never went anywhere, actually. And both my wonderful first officer, Commander R.M. Briggs, and our chief engineer will be back. And we'll have a Blake 7-episode review, a Star Trek comic review. And, of course, before that, it should be on Midnight Edge After Dark with the great Tom Connors and that extraordinary group. And then Friday night, Fearless Fridays continue on my buddy J-Man's channel, 7 p.m. Eastern. Continuing our reviews of Frank Miller's seminal Daredevil run, one of the greatest comic book runs of all time. Great stuff. And then after that, around 8:30 Central Standard Time, I will be on with my great friend, the 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser, hanging out with Friday Night Comic Shop boys, talking some comics, no doubt. Duh. What else will we talk? And Saturday night Star Trek, same Trek time, same Clobby channel, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, like all my shows on my channel. Beginning season 5 of Star Trek Voyager, with 4 more scintillating episodes reviewed by myself, my wonderful first officer, and our fantastic chat. We'll have and we're gonna have a special guest appearance after the show, after the reviews. So then, of course, as Mark had mentioned, if he has it, it'll be the Sunday Night Geekery. It might be on a little later than usual, but there you go.
We'll make it later. Yep.
Some geekery, maybe some eatery. You never know. So shout out to all my fantastic wrenches with it here, not to get the shout out. Let's do that quick. Eric K. Chris Persia, thanks so much, buddy. Thank you, D. Bud Martin, brother. Appreciate you. Lord Thoth, J. Man, Maddie's daddy, Cal L. Always good to see you out here, buddy. Fanty outside. He thanks Fanty. Hungry boy, Maximum Redstone. Next week, I'll get to that in a minute. Max will be there next week. And Larry, Triple Bullwinkle, buddy. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. And now let me shout out our friends in the chat who joined us tonight. Don, Ranger Power. Always good to see you, buddy. Ezra Goldstein, shalom, my friend. Thank you for being here. Wes Cagle, the biggest Voyager fan of them all. Sorry. Putin's Cat, thanks for being here, dude. Appreciate you. Let's see. JT Kirk. All right, brother. It's good hanging out with you tonight at Dadman's. Dave C. Congo Kids Club. Thank you, sir, for being here. K. Roberts, thank you. Blunt Plunk Reviews, my friend. Thank you for being here, my buddy. Always good to see you. Let's see. Whom else? RRTNZ. Thank you so much for that super chat, and thank you for being here with us tonight. Empress NM, thank you. Takes a while to get through them all because we have so many people that with
nice
us tonight.
Crowd today. Yep.
Yeah, what a crowd. And they were talking, had a lot going on. It was a busy chatting room. So the time scales. Thank you. Mikey Sues 4. I hope I'm saying that right. Mikey Sues 4. You got to make sure I am Mikey next time you're on. Make sure I'm saying it okay. I wish I always like to if I can. Bob. I think Penny was here earlier. The lovely Penny K. Roberts. Thank you for being here. Penny was here, like I said, lovely Penny. Let's see. Gotta get to the next one. Get to the next one. Get to the next one. Mars Monkey Max. MMM. The new MMM. You're the new MMM. I hereby we'll be calling you MMM. Ravenscroft. All right, Ravenscroft. Sean MNT. All righty. Thank you for being here. DJ Ronnie G was here. We're getting there, folks. We're getting there. I like to get you all shouted out because you're important to me. I like to shout out when you come in, and usually I like to shout you out when you head out, when we get done. So it's just the way I like to do it. I know it's nothing radio-wise. Talking toaster. By the way, would anyone like any toast? Captain Von Doom Temperus Maximus. Oh, so you're a waffle man. Let's see. Matthew Pounder was here. All right, Matthew, buddy. Bop. We're almost there, folks. Almost there. Dad Man popped in. Dad Man, sir. Dad Man and the Dad Man clan shout out. Zibby Zabby Zuby. Zibby Zabby Zuby Balooby. Walter Thomas Yuski. All righty then. So we're getting close to that point where I'm going to start thinking about maybe saying we got it all. We got it all. We got it all. I like that song. Oh, well, how can I forget it, man? Wow. The great 1701 Tex brother. He had to run, but great buddy Tex. I'm always happy to see him pop in. Daniel Link. Welcome. I mean, thank you for being here. Sci-Fi Mommy popped in. Okay, I got to hang out with her a little bit over there at Dadman's channel. Good luck to your Chiefs. Good luck to your Chiefs, but I have friends there who are 49ers fans too. I wish you all good luck. I don't have a dog in the race there. Listen, today again, it's the 14th. It's the 7th. This is 14 years to the day that was. It's like yesterday was the melancholy anniversary of the passing of the great Jack Kirby. 14 years ago today was one of the happiest days of my life. The Saints won the Super Bowl. Guagnar. Is that right? Guagnar, Picasso, Tobor the robot. Okay, now I'm about to go. Keely Chow was here, incidentally. I should say that. Now I'm going to say that I'm confident that I got them all. And other than Joe Dog and Pat S, of course, and I got Keely Chow right in that. Other than those guys, of course, shout out to them. What do you think? Do you bet that I've got them all, or do you think I missed somebody?
Well,
other than
so many people.
Other than Claude Salling, of course, by the way. Other than Claude Salling. And Minimus. That goes without saying.
Minimus, yep.
Yeah. But other than those, you think
I think you're pretty close, but there's always one. There's always just one, just human nature, right?
Boy, you're good. Salty Traveling Sea was here.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And Adrian James. Yeah. Adrian James.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All righty. Well, you guys, Mr. Smarty Pants, the lovely Sherry was here. Lovely. I thought so, but I wasn't sure if I was imagining it and remember seeing her at Loki's stream. Love you, Sherry. Now, that's it, dude. I am confident that other than Brogu from my own hometown, of course, that and DJ Play Nice, of course, that I got everybody. And well, except for Scribe Light, but that goes without saying, right? Now that I meant to say Scribe Light, that I've got everybody now, except for FKH C2005, but I've got him too. So anybody else? Look who popped in.
Who's
First
here?
chat entry. RM. Oh, first X chat entry, first officer. The most beautiful first officer in the world. I love you. Number 1. Testing. We see you. There you go. If you're still hearing me, you didn't see number 1 pop in? Damn.
Wait, it's my YouTube chat's not showing her.
Really? I'm seeing her on.
Oh, it's not. It didn't on.
Oh,
it's slow. It's slow. I guess. Yeah, it's slow.
YouTube doesn't show it.
I see her on StreamYard. Yeah, I'm not seeing her.
Interesting. So, number 1. Interestingly enough, it shows on StreamYards, but not on the YouTube.
Yeah, what's going on? You're using a cloaking device?
RRTNZ has a question. I'm sorry. Quick question.
Because it's on Twitter. Oh, because on Twitter.
It's Twitter. Yes,
it's Twitter. I'm a bear of little brain sometimes. So yeah, and that's why it's not showing up on. Usually I have the chat window in YouTube open, so I don't miss anything. And sometimes I don't have the StreamYard's chat showing because you're doing something else. So there we go. Awesome, it's working, Raquel. Yeah. Now I get it. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. RTNZ had a question. So, quick question, Globby. What did you think of the John Ostrander Self-Delete Squad run from 1987? Both rereading it recently. It's been rereading it recently. Great stories and characters. Well, I'll say this about that, RR. I like Ostrander's, a lot of his writing on some other things. I never really read that book that much. I didn't like Luke McDonald's art at all. And I didn't like the whole premise of the book being a bunch of villains. So I got to admit to you, I like Ostrander. I've heard a lot of people like that book. But I've sold the book a little bit. I just sold a lot of copies of it. But I got to admit, I never really got into it. And I'm not knocking it. I just never really picked it up and looked at it for much. Other than look at it, I didn't start reading it or stick with it. I may have read an issue or two. So I couldn't honestly give you an honest opinion on the book. I would have to go back and read some of them to give you an honest opinion. I never liked the artwork on the book by Luke McDonald and some of the other ones. In fact, I recently saw some trades like real cheap at Ollie's of those. I didn't even bother getting them. I thought the art was kind of terrible. So I'll tell you this, though. There are many people, not just yourself, that do acclaim it and like it very much and say very nice things about it. So it's very well liked. It's just not something that I've spent any time devoting to it. But you never know. Who knows? Maybe I can read it one day and like it. And I thank you for the question. I hope you heard it. Hope I didn't take too long to get to that. So, but I try to get to all the questions when I can. So thank you for that. Well, and I guess we're going to run out here, folks. Are we ready? We're ready. Okay.
I think we're ready, right?
Okay. Thank you all.
Oh, Larry. Yeah, Raquel is on Twitter, so I guess you can't see the chat. We can see it in StreamYard just because it's we have all the chats come in here. But I guess that's something. I don't know if that's something YouTube can fix or that's a Twitter thing.
You can see it when I put it on the screen, though.
Yeah. So it's showing with coming from Twitter X.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is streaming to. You can stream to more than one stream at a time, but I guess like I stream some of my gaming stuff to Twitch, but then you can't see the chats between the two, unfortunately.
No, you can't do more than one stream at a time, but you can stream to more than one channel.
Yeah.
Right. You can't. When I was on Tom's channel last night, it shows there was an option as a guest to stream to another. Like I could stream it somewhere else, and I was a guest on the show. So it's weird. But yes, you can stream to multiple channels, the same stream, but you can't stream more than. Shout Studios is doing more than one now. Oh, I got you. Cool. So anyway, Larry says, love you, Raquel. And we do too. And so good night, everybody. Thanks for being here. Please join us for the clubhouse tomorrow night. Have a fantastic remainder of your week, though. Let's get this done, and we hope to see you tomorrow night. Everybody take care. Have a great night.
Poker. You know the game?
Clobberin.
Groovy.
I just love clobbering time.